We have a listener who owns a welding school. His name is Jason.
Yep.
The company's name is Underground Metalworks. And man, I'm telling you what, this is one of the coolest and most unique opportunities for you, for your family, for your buddies, for like you and your sons, me and my daughter. But you can actually go there and take classes and learn how to weld yourself.
Yep, 100%. And the facility is top-notch. It's great. MIG, TIG, stick certification welding. He told me that a lot of artists go there and learn how to weld so they can make sculptures. They have father-son welding.
Sure.
They have people that are looking at welding as they make a career change and get certified that way.
Well, if you're a fabricator, I've worked on a lot of stuff. I mean, this year I completed that scooter. It would have been a lot easier had I known what to do and didn't have to just ask my friends to weld for me, right?
Yeah,
and it's also just a really cool, skill to have, like an arrow in your quiver, right? So if you've ever thought about it and you're interested, check them out. It's underground-metalworks.com.
Yep, maximum 5 students per session, flexible scheduling, they are weekend classes, evening classes, so they can fit anybody's schedule. Yeah,
the small class thing too is good because you may if it's a big old class you might get frustrated. No, that's not what they do here.
Yeah, it's all hands on.
This is real hands on, and when we say top notch, we've been to the facility. If we did a show out there, you can go back and listen to it. It's cool. It looks cool. Yeah, it's a cool looking place,
and you will be hands on welding. We did it when we went and did a show out there. Yeah. It's underground-metalworks.com. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. On the couch with us, comedian Sean Finnerty's here.
Hey! I made him something. Hold on. I made him something. Hold on. I got to find it.
The comedian Sean Finnerty is on our couch today. See him at Moe's Comedy Jam on October 2nd. Hey! On October 2nd, hey.
There you go.
No. All right.
Yeah, October 2nd, you can see this man.
Did you just AI a Dropkick Murphys song?
I did. I took the spirit of Dropkick Murphys.
Brilliant.
And I stole it, and I killed a rainforest. Because that's what, do you understand that every...
you killed one plant.
Every click... No, that was layered. Every click uses 7 to 10 purple diamond coins.
Okay.
The purple diamond coins are the currency used by AI. You have to pay real money for the coins, and every time you click the button, the amount of power it is needed to create that song destroys a small city in a third world area. Just leveled with flame. Leveled with flame.
I'll be honest, I haven't understood anything you've said for about a minute.
Yeah.
But I will say this, it's funny that you play that because when I first started touring doing stand-up comedy, a lot of times you go to clubs and they'd be like, oh, what song do you want for an intro? And I'd always say, I don't care. And it would always be Shipping Off to Boston. Whenever I didn't pick, they'd go, Shipping Off to Boston. And so eventually,
right?
Eventually it got to the point where I had to be like, just nothing Irish. Okay, just play a song. Right? They're going to know. I'm going to get up there. I'm going to sound like this. And they'll be like, is that an accent I detect?
But if I was a club owner, it's going to be hard for me not to play something Irish.
Because I've been holding on to that song or some element of that. I've always wanted to do that to an Irish comedian.
Yeah.
But you're not going to do that to an Asian comedian. No,
exactly.
You're not going to do that.
Right?
You're not, no. You're not doing that. Yeah. You're not, I swear to God, but I would laugh if you did.
It would be brazen.
I would laugh at it, though. I would laugh at it. If somebody did go.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to want to do it.
Hey, Shane Gillis.
Yeah.
Right.
So, Sean, you got married last November.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's a big deal, man.
Yeah.
So how was it? What was the wedding like? Tell me about it.
It was amazing. I got married in Mendoza, Argentina.
Really?
Yeah.
Sorry.
We have no idea.
Close. Now think more of a German feel.
Which is weird.
I know.
But so why Argentina?
No, so actually my wife's mother grew up in Argentina.
Okay.
And so when we were kind of thinking about where she grew up here in Florida, my
Beautiful.
wife. But when we were deciding where to get married, she didn't want to do Florida just because it was so familiar to her, and I didn't want to do Ireland because I have 370 cousins. So,
and Argentina, beautiful,
amazing.
I mean,
amazing.
it's like it's true, South America, man. That is it.
The food is amazing. Our backdrop was the Andes.
Really?
Yeah, we got married at a vineyard with the Andes in the backdrop.
That's awesome. Now, destination wedding, did your friends or family like it? Did they get mad that you forced them to travel to Argentina?
No, do you know what I found?
I think that's a good man. If one of my relatives said, "Hey, you want to go to Argentina to a vineyard and eat delicious food in the backdrops of the Andes?" I'd be like, "Yes, please."
So here's the deal, right? I found the people that like initially complained were the ones that just didn't show anyway. They got their little complaint in and then they didn't come.
Yeah.
Everyone had an amazing night. It was great. I think the big thing as well was the last 5 weddings I'd been to had all been in different countries.
Yeah.
Like, of the last 6, 1 was in America, 1 was in Asia, and the other 4 were in Europe. So I was like, listen, it's my turn. We're going to Argentina.
Yeah.
And, it was great because it was a very different experience. Like, I don't think anyone at the wedding, aside from a couple of Gabriella's family, had ever been to Argentina. So, like, the wedding day was amazing. Obviously, everything was included, so it was open bar for the whole thing. The next day, we went to an Argentinian Premier League soccer game.
Oh, that's awesome.
South America. Yeah, so I bought tickets.
Spicy soccer for everybody?
I'm talking like fireworks, flares.
Yeah.
Like the fire department and cops were on the edge of the field. The pitch had a moat around it. It was like
there's danger in the air.
Oh, it was amazing. They had big nets behind the goal so you couldn't throw stuff at the players.
Am I wrong in saying that maybe this is the first man that I've met who planned his dream wedding?
Yeah, right.
This sounds like a man's dream wedding. Like if I'd been able to get married and then immediately go to a Premier League level soccer game where people are throwing things at the pitch, dude, that's amazing.
You should see, because right when it got dark, right at the end of I wouldn't mind, the home team are losing 1-0. They lose 1-0, but they're 1-0 down in the 90th minute, and it's just gotten dark, and next thing the whole place lights up with flares and it's
smoke pouring out. Oh my God, what's happening?
I have a video of it on my phone. I'll show you after.
Yeah.
I have to go to a South American soccer game because it's the closest to Running Man I'm ever going to get to because the players have an escape tunnel just in case the fans try to kill them.
It's like this fun mix of sports and danger.
When there's moat and flares going on.
You had me at moat.
Yeah. And then you're looking at like fences, and then you're like, wait a minute, am I in danger? Who's in danger here?
Well, the referees certainly are. And you know what? And thank you for your service, South American soccer referees. The fact that you even get out there so we can watch you on a game day, thank you.
It's just
that's an awesome experience.
It's just gladiator with a ball.
So what's the wifey thing? She's into the soccer too?
Love
so
soccer.
You guys are having a great time? Oh, man, this is a dream wedding.
It was a blast.
I love it.
Blast, yeah.
So, Sean, another thing you told us recently, which I'm fascinated by, is
we're in our Tonight Show era, by the way. Should we talk about that?
Me and Daniel spent...
How long have we been working together? That would be a funny... almost 30 years? Working together. Because
I started interning at the radio station in 2004.
And then you and I have been writing and producing for like more than 20 years. Together.
Yeah.
And close to 30 years together.
And then in 20 years,
never. We've not even one time.
we've
I
always...
want Melissa to flag this first because this is a big deal, and I'm glad we're going to bare our souls to you guys for a second.
We bust our ass where you get on the person's social media, so they start looking at news related, anything on the internet that we can talk to the guest about.
One of us will start the conversation. One of us will be like, hey, what do you want to talk to Sean Finnerty about? It was you today.
We deep dive interviews, recent interviews they did, and then go through and find little tidbits of what they talked about in other interviews.
Go back and watch you on the Tonight Show. Refresh myself with that. Make sure I know how to say your last name. Write a song about you.
And then Sean came in, and then we were like, hey, Sean, anything new you wanted to discuss? He's like, I'm getting my learner's permit. We're like, that's good. Couldn't find that anywhere. And then what else? I just got married last November. Two good ones.
Got married in Argentina.
And I'm like, hey, could we have just asked the guests before?
For 20 many years?
What they wanted to talk about?
We realized on the last day of September? Close. We realized 30 years into our career that we could just look at the person coming at it and welcome them and say, there's the bathroom, make yourself at home. By the way, is there anything you'd like to talk about today?
And then 3 things, and then you're done.
We've never done that.
We've wasted our lives.
We've wasted our lives.
I will say my social media deserves a little bit of credit for that because I gave nothing away on there.
I was going to ask you,
Private man.
You are a private person on social media. Like, it's like all your stand-up and social media is great, but there's nothing personal on there.
No, and do you know what it is? Part of that is, as soon as I started making a living doing this, I was just like, I don't need to put any time into this at all. Should I? Yes. Do I? No.
And you know the Tom and Dan business method. How did you said that was secret.
Hey, and there is something to be said about social media. There's going to be lots of people that have gone their whole social media career, and by that I mean, like, you were already a professional when social media started, and then you were told, hey, you have to do social media, and then, you do it, but half-assed. And there's a lot of people that do it full force, and at the end of the career, it's not going to matter that much.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to end up being like, I've wasted, if hours-wise, compiled maybe, half a year of my entire life on social media, and it didn't do really anything that you can quantify.
Yeah, because sometimes, like, the whole following, this whole, new wave.
I don't even like that term.
I don't either.
The term follower used to be like, oh my God, he's a follower. Like, that guy's in the cult.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you're a bad person. Look at
it went Jesus and then that dude in Texas. And
Jesus was apparently the only good one that I know of.
But you realize, yes, it can help people, and it probably is smart to have a social media following. It's good for business at a certain point. But really, all that matters is what's on stage.
That's it.
Because who cares about your following if you're bombing on stage or you're not killing on stage? Like, that should be 100% of your job.
You could ask Theo Von about that, because apparently he's having some issues.
No, on stage?
Apparently he bombed.
Oh, I did see. I read about this. So they said he bombed at a special.
And this isn't shade or anything, but this is just what I'm hearing, okay?
Yeah.
Because, I've seen him be hilariously funny, and, I'm not a fan. He came in here one day and was very kind to us, very low-key. I think he was super tired. But apparently he might be struggling with addiction again, because it seemed like he was in a state where you couldn't finish punchlines. I'll put it like that.
Okay. But, sometimes you can't have it all. Like Joe Rogan, obviously gigantic, successful podcast, at one time the biggest in the world.
Right.
And a lot of people do like his stand-up. For me, it's not for me. It's not.
Yeah.
And to me, it seems like his stand-up is not as good. Okay, you can't have it all. Who cares? Like, you already are one of the most popular influencers.
You're doing fine.
The way that I look at guys like that is, I really don't. I don't trash other comedians, because I think it's such a tough thing to do.
Yeah.
That if you get any level of success in this, you've probably earned it in some respect. You've paid dues in some way.
I like that.
But the way that I look at like Rogan is a perfect example. You get $100 million off Spotify.
Yeah.
Your gig is you have this podcast, but you've always done stand up, so you also do stand up, which is going to take priority. The thing that makes you $100 million, or also there's this, so it's probably just priorities. I mean, Theo Von, same thing. He probably they make so much money without having to leave their house that you'd wonder if the drive is still there for the stand up in the same way, the same hunger like as there would be for someone who's up and coming, or someone who doesn't have $100 million deal. You know?
No, 100%. Yeah. And I think that if you are a killer,
a good point of view.
If you are a killer on stage, I think it's just like,
I hate that term.
In any video game, you can't have all the speed and all the power.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Wizard needs food.
Or if you do, you're severely lacking in charisma. One of them has to drop.
You can't have it all. Yeah. So it's like, I think really good stand-up performers, maybe not necessarily good at podcast hosting. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen someone do good at both of them.
Right.
As decent, like Joe Rogan, Theo Vaughn, decent stand-up for sure, but obviously a better podcast host because that's where people have
Flooded
spoken.
to them.
And then they love their podcast. So it's like, okay, well, this is your area. You can't be a Dave Chappelle and a Rogan podcast host. It just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So back to getting your learner's permit. So you never had. When did you move to the United States?
I never knew that either. Every time you've been here, which is I think we're on our fourth maybe time, I had no idea that you were not driving.
Yeah, I know. I've Ubered every time.
So
Do you
how
ever
long?
dip your toe into Lyft, or are you Uber only? Are you loyal? Do you have loyalty?
Do you know what? I only use Uber, but I would not call it loyalty. I think I got accidentally put an old debit card on Lyft.
You're locked into
and I was
it.
just like, I can't be changing that. That's it
Are
now.
you guys brothers? Because he did the opposite on Uber, and he's Lyft only now because he's locked out of his Uber.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We're different, but the same.
Oh my god!
I don't care. Listen, I don't care who picks me up. I'm a murderer. If they had a convicted criminal Uber, I'd take that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not
That's actually a decent idea.
Like
you have to be a felon to drive.
Yeah. Even a convicted sex crime felon.
Oh my god! You can't call it Uber Black though anymore.
You did your time.
People are going to get offended.
You know what? I would take that too. And here's how I know
For a
I'd take
discount,
it. I have given 2 different drivers 5-star ratings who got in crashes.
While you were in the car.
One, I completely forgot. One was the reason I was late to the welcome party of my own wedding. The driver in Argentina got in a crash. Yeah, he just rear-ended someone, and then we were like 20 minutes into this, and I go, can I just give someone money to get out of this situation? We've got somewhere to be.
And they were like, yes, you can.
You get international Uber. We've never done international. Or maybe you have. Have you done international Uber?
No.
Interesting.
We have. Yes, yeah. We did in Sweden.
And you can just use the same app, right?
Yeah.
How cool is that? I mean, not to just point out something that I don't know why I think that's cool, but it's cool that you have an app that you can get people to drive you around
Anywhere in the world, as long as you have service.
That's wild, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
I'm a dumb old man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much to impress.
Well, it's so much easier to travel internationally now because you're familiar. Like,
speaking to my phone so I can see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to kill me? Uh-oh.
Do you know what I just saw on the way here? First time ever seen it. I was on the Uber app on the way over here, and it said basically an option to record what's going on in the Uber for your peace of mind, for safety.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, I will never use that.
Also,
I could just voice record on my phone.
And you could possibly record your own death.
Which is cool. Actually, I bring that back around. I think that's cool.
No. Going back to,
I'm not saying I want to do it. I'm just saying it's definitely a cool option.
Well,
it's better than not being able to record your death.
Listen, going back to a Dave Chappelle joke, I don't want to be screaming, please! They're begging for my life, and then they're playing it on the news, and then I'm like, I poop my pants.
Just try to stay quiet.
Right.
And then you're like, you can do anything to me, just don't kill me. Like, I don't need that on the news. So back to getting your learner's permit.
So, or not getting my learner's permit, as the point is. So here's I moved here when I was 21. I'm now 36, so I've just Ubered my way through life. And
wow,
yeah,
15 years of not having a car at all.
Right,
that's impressive.
And
man.
so I went to get my learner permit, and they do this quick eye test, right? So you put your face up to the screen, and she goes, "Okay, read the third row." And I read 4 letters, and she goes, "Okay, now read the other 4." And I went, "Ha, good one." Turns out there were 4 more letters, and I'm blind in my right eye.
And you had no idea until the DMV told you?
So here's the thing.
That's a real man, by the way.
Has your body compensated to the point where you don't think you're blind?
No, so here's what it is, right? It's not, like, I've always known I had, poor vision in my right eye, but it's never been an issue for me because my eyes work fine as a pair. Like, I wore glasses as a kid. And then one day I was like, I don't like these, so I just stopped wearing them.
Okay,
and then I've gone through life, been able to see fine, but just always kind of in the knowledge that I had alrighty, weak enough now.
Okay. Well, first off, you have not been seeing fine because
the machine told us that.
I'm no doctor, but when the government DMV tells you that you can't see, that means it's real bad.
Yeah.
Because I can understand when like eyeglass the superstore, when they're trying to sell you glasses, the government is just literally like they don't even the people that work there, they care less. They're just like, you failed the least standard of being able to drive.
I would imagine it's pretty wide open.
We try to.
No, here's the thing. It's actually the thing you put your forehead up to read the letters.
Yeah.
It is actually a pretty stringent test. So because here's the thing. Normally, with my right eye, if it was something like that, I would have seen letters. They just would have been too blurry to tell.
Okay.
But whatever this test was, I was just like, I saw nothing.
Oh,
There was
no,
nothing
that's
there.
real bad.
Yeah, that is real bad.
And so I have to go to the. I just went to the optometrist and I'm waiting on glasses now.
Okay, and then are you going to go back?
I'll go back with my little form filled
So
out.
what made you 15 years of Ubering around, and recently Crystal's car was in the shop, so I've been Ubering a lot, and every time that happens and I do Uber a lot, I lean towards enjoying it because I'm like
it paces you down. It slows you down.
Well, it not only slows you down, but I'm also like doing emails and stuff in the back of the Uber, and I'm like, man, I may be able to get.
What else are you doing? You got to knock it all out back there.
It's just like I'm able to get some stuff done while I'm riding.
You're not Russell Wilson. You're working out in the back of the Uber. You got like little tiny weights. You're doing push-ups in the aisle of the plane.
I'm on my fantasy. I'm gambling.
Do you take phone calls?
I'll take some.
I don't like
calls.
doing that. I don't like taking a call in an Uber. I don't like other people hearing anything that I have to say.
You know what?
I don't even say hi to the Uber man. I just get in like I can't speak.
You know what? I just got a call from my agent on the Uber over here. And I answered that and I chatted to him for a couple of minutes, but I was like the whole time like trying to just okay, all right, yeah. This has to end. And then I hung up and I just instinctively, because I also don't like talking in Ubers.
Yeah.
Instinctively, I just went, hey, sorry about that. And
that's what I would have done.
Yeah, he did not answer. So now I think this guy thinks I just ended a conversation with, hey, sorry about that, and just hung up.
Yeah, they don't care meaning drivers. So just whatever.
I'm paying for the right to talk on my phone, to fart in the car.
Can. No, you're allowed. I just don't like to do it. It's just not something I like to do. You can do anything you want to in there. You can masturbate in there for all I care.
No,
I don't like to do
far.
I Uber to the airport quite a bit, obviously traveling, doing gigs on the road, and every time a lot of early flights. I always bring a LaCroix with me, like a seltzer water.
Yeah.
And I always ask when I get in. I'm like, hey, is it cool if I drink this in here? And a lot of them are
very
like
polite.
A lot of them will be like, wow, thanks for asking. I'm like, well,
there's a lot of Toms out there. They just get in. I'm doing business. They don't care. They don't care.
Fantasy football.
Drive up there. You're lucky to have a job. We just raised minimum wage. I don't know about that. Let's go.
Sometimes I get in, I'll just start screaming. I'm like, yeah! The entire time. And I'm like, this is my American right to scream.
I'm an American businessman. And if I want to scream my head off in my Uber going over to Buffalo Wild Wings, I'm allowed to.
Which is why I never got a driver's license.
So, now, but why now?
Why now?
Yeah. Like after,
great question.
After all these years.
And there's a wonderful answer.
Okay.
The answer is, my wife said, you're an adult, get a driver's license.
Come on.
Damn wife! I knew it.
Come on.
God, it's a wife.
Argentine wife putting her foot down. Never heard of that.
Do you know what? She didn't even really put her foot down. She has been hinting for years that, hey, maybe as a grown up, you might
as
like
a grown up, ouch.
Or maybe, like there's a certain freedom to drive. I'm like, there's a freedom to Uber it.
Tom just explained that to him.
Yeah.
And money wise, you could make the argument that it is cheaper to Uber.
It's way cheaper. It is way cheaper.
Car insurance, car payment, car repairs, gas.
We're overcarred.
I've never paid for any of that stuff in my life.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, you're talking $150 a month in gas, $100 plus in insurance, and the car payments. You can't get a car for
registration,
damn near $500 a month.
Yeah.
I mean, gone are the days. You remember you used to be able to get a car payment for like $160.
Yeah,
like when in the 90s, like my friends are like, I got $185 car payment. We're like, ooh, that's a.
I remember
$180.
I remember a friend that had, I think, less than that.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, it's nothing to sniff at, but
I will say you probably go less places.
Yes, which may be good.
Which, honestly, good thing.
Yeah,
I was discussing with you, our buddy Bustacker. Like, John Bustacker is the bike king of Orlando.
Yeah.
He and Brendan both. Shout out Orlando Shine Show. They bike a lot, and I think it's cool. Like, hopefully, Maisie, my daughter, has expressed interest in doing more biking when she gets a little bit older. She's going to be biking to school eventually. I mean, I'd love to see myself doing that because, I mean, like, if you can save money just biking around and you can still go grocery shop, you can still go to the pub, you can still, do whatever you want. That's awesome.
Well, I mean, at a certain point, it's not even really about saving the money and like a money issue. Is more about like, hey, how many? If you're going to go somewhere, you really have to think: is it important for me to go there?
Right.
Is it worth it? Like sometimes I'll get my truck.
Used to be, right?
Yeah, just drive around aimlessly. So like, I'll go to the store.
Yeah, you take a drive when you're mad. I don't think cowboys, that had a wagon, I don't think that when they were mad at their old lady, that they just go hitch up the horses and start riding around and chill out, So it wasn't a thing.
So once you do get your driver's license, then you have to buy a car. So then now what, how are we going to get a car? Facebook Marketplace?
I'd say step one will be I'll just get insured on the wife's car.
Okay, so borrowing.
I'd imagine I'm not a very possession-oriented person. You know what I mean? So I'd imagine what will happen was eventually she'll get a new car and I'll just take.
And what if? Let's make this science fiction. And what if you start Ubering and you become Uber? Ooh. Because you've been Ubering for so long, and then you start Ubering, and then you just sucked into the system. You just become you're Uber man.
Damn it, they got me.
Yeah, have you ever thought about it? You could Uber. You could drive people on your way to do comedy.
Oh, listen, man, I have thought so much about. I'm a big side hustle guy.
Okay,
I genuinely have this dream of like just going house to house picking up dog crap. I really.
The dog food business.
That's a big business, man.
Man,
they're in this neighborhood.
If I just had my like 30 houses. Right? And I could just go and just pick up dog crap for the week.
You just hit each one.
Yeah.
I mean, exactly. Yeah. It's literally, exactly what you have to do.
It's so funny. Like, some people would look down on that. That is my dream. I travel so much doing comedy that it would be so nice to be home a little bit more.
Yeah.
Just have a paper route, but for dog crap.
Yeah. That's a real thing, and they're in this neighborhood somewhere. We had them on the show.
And that's a good passive bullying to the people that actually pick up dog crap for a living. I like doing that, by the way, where it's like you have a job like professional podcaster, you're like, if I only pressure washed for a living, and the pressure washers are hearing this and like, you MF. Because they're for sure like, I'll do anything but this. I hate my job.
I get
because the grass is always greener, and that's
true. Of course.
And that's the thing, like you're a professional stand-up comedian. We do it all the time. We're like, man, if I only had some, this job, and then the people hearing that are like, are you joking?
Yeah,
this is horrible.
They're like, you work 4 hours a month.
Like, remembering what
I'd kill to just go on stage for a living.
Or just remembering what it's like to just leave instead of locking up. You know what I mean? There is a total difference in owning this and like locking up and leaving, and then you just grab your backpack and walk out the door.
I know.
Oh, what a feeling.
I know. And then you get a call from your boss like, hey, you were still meant to lock.
So speaking of money, I know that's the last thing we'll talk to you about. Daniel told me about this Saudi Arabian comedy festival that's been stirring up a lot of comedian hate.
The Riyadh Comedy Festival.
Yeah.
Huge.
And so the Riyadh Comedy Festival.
You want the names?
In Saudi Arabia. Yeah, give us all the names.
Okay.
Because other comedians have...
real quick, I actually turned this down. Preemptively. in my mind. And they got the message, thankfully.
You're standing up, Sean.
It's a lot of people. You got Mo Amara, or Aziz Ansari, Wayne Brady, Hannibal Buress, Bill Burr. That's the big one that everybody's kind of really like, whoa.
Bill Burr?
Yeah, Bill Burr.
Or Dave Chappelle and Kevin Hart.
Louis C.K.
Jimmy Carr, Dave Chappelle, Louis C.K., but,
Louis C.K. is like, I don't care about the hate.
Yeah, I mean, he's already hated.
It's not going to hurt my reputation.
There's some weird, like Whitney Cummings. Why? Pete Davidson, your dad died in 9/11, dude.
Honestly, as well on Louis, like that's probably the best place for him to perform.
Sure,
because,
yeah.
The women are very dressed.
Chris Stefano.
Stefano.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Stefano. Omid. I can't pronounce that guy's last name. I mean, it goes through Kevin Hart, Gabriel Iglesias. The biggest one, Jim Jeffries. Some on here that were like, what? Maj Jabroni. That's another one I didn't expect to be on there.
Yeah.
Joe Coy, Bobby Lee.
Yeah, some of the biggest comedians. And then and David Cross and Mark Maron
and a bunch of others
spoke out about it.
Are kind of speaking out.
Let's be clear, they spoke out about it. We're not just throwing them on the list like
no,
they spoke out.
So then I'm curious of your opinion, Sean, because when I see stories like this, it's hard for me to even have an opinion because I'm like, hey, do what you want. I mean, you are offered the money. And like even Shane Gillis, who's not involved, did say in a statement, which I thought was good. He's like, hey, you keep offering me money. There will be a price that I will take it.
Yeah. You're going to get to a number where I'm going to say yes, and I don't want to do that to just stop.
Yeah.
And so,
which I'm like, that's a
honest.
Really good answer, man. Because you're able to tell the truth, but not do it.
Yeah. Nobody, like... There are very few people out there that there isn't a number. You know what I mean?
That's an honest answer.
And here's what I'll say. I think there's a couple of different ways to look at it. The way that I would look at it is everyone else has taken the money, right?
Yeah.
So it all depends on how you view stand-up comedy. If you view stand-up comedians as some people the truth tellers, you know what I mean? There are people who have this view of like modern day philosophers. You know?
Okay.
If you view comedy like that, then you're like, I can't believe these guys are taking the money. If you view comedians as jesters, you're like, oh, the jester got paid, the clown got his money. You know what I mean?
Then you don't care.
So it really does depend on how you view it. Because if you look at like, the UFC. They're always in Saudi Arabia. WWE, WrestleMania is going to be in Riyadh.
2 years.
How long until we see? Have we seen an NFL game over there? Maybe not, but I mean, would anyone be shocked? Live Golf. Everyone is taking the money. So the Saudi Premier League, soccer league. Some of the best soccer players in the world are playing in Saudi Arabia right now. So like. It all depends on where you draw the line about who gets to take the money and who doesn't. Plus, let's not even get into governments and backdoor deals and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you start tracking the money back long enough. You can find things, evil things, or things that you don't agree with.
Right.
It just depends on how far you go back. It's like it's really. And then I'm sure all these comedians did that math. Like they are their own business. They're like, hey, how much is this going to hurt me versus how much is going to help me? Is this going to be a non-point 2 weeks from now? Yes. And then they know it.
Right. Well, that's what you said that I didn't think about, because you think about this and you're like, man, you don't want some of your favorite comedians to do this. Mm-hmm. But also Tom's talking this morning and we're talking about it a little bit, and you realize that the daily churn of stories is so fast and so rapid that it's not even, like, we'll see, and it's going to not be a blip. And
in 2027, no one's going to be like, can't believe Chappelle did Riyadh. I mean, I'm so mad about it still. Yelling in my Uber.
Just screaming. But you're driving it. But you're driving it. That's the twist.
My passenger is scared.
You're the passenger, Tom. You're in the back of Sean Finnerty's Uber.
Her boat yelling.
So Sean Finnerty is going to be...
I just want to pick up dog crap.
Give him his dream, folks.
Just Call Mo Comedy Jam, October 2nd. 2nd, this Thursday. Daniel and I are going to be out there. A ton of our radio people are going to be out there.
Yeah, man. It's always a good time.
All for a great cause, all for Yellow Brick Road Foundation. Huge thanks to JustCallMo.com and Mo DeWitt for putting these events on, and they're super entertaining, and it's, a list of great comedians. We've had them all on the show.
Yeah, man.
And Sean, thank you so much for coming.
Appreciate the time,
pleasure.
man.
I love coming and hanging with you guys.
Thank you for being here, guys. We will be right back.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Sean Finnerty is still here, hanging out, waiting for his Uber.
Yeah.
So we figured instead of him waiting in the lobby, we just wait on the show with us.
This is a new segment we'd like to call Waiting on an Uber.
Because you're blind in one eye.
All right, let's go with, oh my God. Let's go with this one right here.
I don't watch a lot of network TV anymore, but I found myself watching America's Got Talent, and they had a mini segment with the hosts, showing them up close, and good God, have you seen what Simon Cowell looks like lately? I mean, God, man, just grow old. He looks weird. Anyways.
Yeah, he does look a bit like a Chucky doll these days.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, but the man is 60 years old.
Yeah.
He looks awesome for 60. But people say, yeah,
Do you know what he looks? He looks like Jeff Dunham should have his hand up his arse.
How old is
he
has a puppet head on him.
puppety. He does look a little puppety.
Oh, how old is Simon
I just
Cowell?
think he's late 50s. You're 60 in him, and I don't know if he's 60.
No, he's been around a while. I could see 60s.
Yeah, I guess he early 60s, 63? 62, 63? Somebody's going to throw in the chat room before you can get it to bed.
65 years old.
Oh, wow. Okay, so he's coming in for a landing.
Yeah, so
I guess it's working because you thought he was in his 50s.
Yeah, late, I said late 50s.
Yeah.
But here's the thing I will say. Late 50s with plastic surgery. I mean, the guy definitely looks like he's had work
Of course,
done.
yeah.
It's never. Do you know what it is? It's always the mouth. It's always where you just go, this wouldn't be a big deal if you could just still have facial expressions.
Yeah,
If you
okay.
could, if your smile looked normal, you'd get away with it.
Well, who's done it right?
That's a good question.
So
Pamela Anderson.
Yeah.
No work, aged gracefully.
Yeah, but she's doing this thing now that's so empowering where she wears no makeup.
Yeah.
And
It's great.
And she's so confident
great?
about it. I know you want to say that. I know you want to say that. And to me, I look at her and I agree. It's not the Pamela Anderson that as a teen boy
Nor
I
should it
lusted
be.
after. But that's not what she's going for.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, to her and other women, it's super confident.
Listen, I'm always fine with whatever people want to do.
Yeah.
And but I will say,
Not me. You don't get to do that. What are you doing over there? Stop doing that.
Hey, you, put some makeup on. What do you think this is?
And you're also watching on TV, which is if you see these people. The most impressive person I saw in real life that's had a lot of work
I know what
done,
you're gonna say.
was Mark McGrath. So
from the band Sugar Ray.
So I saw Mark McGrath in person in a meet and greet, and
In Ivanhoe.
It was 4 years ago.
Hullabaloo.
And he's older, and he's got a lot of work done. And when I saw him in person, it blew my effing mind how good he looked for his age. And I was like, and it didn't look weird at all. I was like, God, this guy looks incredible. And
It's like you ever
I don't know,
wear-
that's what you're paying for.
You ever worn a pair of sunglasses that are polarized, and then you're trying to change the radio station in your car, and you can't see it because of polarization?
Yeah.
There was a time when that was like a thing in cars.
Okay.
I think TV cameras, there's something about the television camera that makes, when we see people with plastic surgery, they look different, because I think you're kind of right. Any person I've seen that's had work done in front of me, it's like it's more forgivable in human eyesight than it is on TV, if that makes sense.
Right.
I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm not articulating that
So you
correctly.
think they look better in person
They
than
do.
they do? Okay.
Mark McGrath does. Like when you see
Yeah.
him on like Hollywood Squares or something, you're like, okay. But when you see him in real life, you're kind of like,
Yes.
that looks better.
Right.
I think it's your brain because your brain is lazy. We do this with
Filling in the gaps.
We do this with our significant others too. Like you will always see your partner as younger than they are, especially if you've been with them for a while, because your brain is seeing their younger version of themselves and not their 45-year-old.
Your brain
version
is
of themselves.
questing for what it wants. It doesn't want the saggy old lady. It wants a delicious young baby.
But also like it's putting that younger features that you grew grew up with and it's kind of diluting it where it's skewing
the original AI.
Yeah, and so it's fine. I mean,
I don't know why, but the phrase "grew up with" felt out of place.
well, I'm describing my own wife.
What I meant was the lady I remember from my 20s. Not.
So
it's tap dancer on this topic.
Yeah, and then other people, like other men at 65, look a lot older than Simon Cowell if they didn't have plastic surgery, and you'd probably be criticizing them if they, it's like, man, look how old this guy. Like, if Simon Cowell knows plastic surgery, you'd be like, he looks so old. You might as well do it.
But
for
I don't
yourself.
do that to old people, though. I don't.
The public does.
I don't look at people that age and be like, holy crap, what the hell happened to that guy?
The public does.
Maybe, yes. Maybe to celebrities who are in the public eye, one day someone ages dramatically and you go, wow, that's a change up. But my big takeaway from this is your camera theory is interesting. Why isn't plastic surgery better? Doesn't it feel as though we've gotten to a point where it should be like, oh,
it's better now. So in 40 years from now, everybody will look way better. Simon Cowell started plastic surgery 20 years ago.
He started too young.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So now, modern day technology, a lot.
So he's still got silver fillings of plastic surgery, is what you're saying.
So there's no fixing it?
So, no, because
I think it's like I don't think you can move around skin endlessly. I think you get to a point where you lose the elasticity. It's almost like tattoos. I've been told that there's only a certain amount of work you can do on my arms to a point where they're like,
Ironically, that's what they told me about my eye. They said, "Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, no, you can't get LASIK, nothing like that. No, you should have been wearing a patch as a kid.
patch.
You should have been a little Irish pirate."
What? They told you that?
Yeah, the lady. Yeah, when I went to the optometrist, she was like, "Hey, if you wore a patch as a kid to try and strengthen the eye, it might have improved it. It would have improved it, but because you've just let your left eye be like, nah, don't worry, I got this for 30 years. Now you just got a bum eye."
I think that's what my son has, because he had to wear a patch during his eye therapy. To strengthen the one eye, and then to make it because your one eye compensates for the other.
So wait a minute, are you bragging that you did what Sean should have done? Are you saying I did this? And you're saying that I put a patch on my son to strengthen his eye, which is what Sean was telling you, pouring his heart out.
Which, if you think about it, is another case for you know what? Just like plastic surgery, things have gotten better nowadays because he actually did the thing.
Well, it was like 3 days or something, right? Or how long was it that he had to wear it?
It was just during
his exercises.
Right. That's how to do
that
it.
eye's not going to be strong enough. He's going to be like me.
Well, I know, because
he loves Uber too.
We didn't do the GD exercises, Sean.
Let me tell you, let get around. Old Shawnee One Eye is going to tell you a tale.
Your son's going to grow up to be a very successful Irish comedian.
And also in the late 90s in Ireland, bigger problems than Sean's eye.
Yeah.
They were just like, I don't know. Grew up.
No, your time frame is pretty solid there. I would say, I think 1996, 97 was when the Oma bombing happened.
Okay.
I grew up an hour from the north.
Really?
Yeah, I grew up in the Republic, but I was an hour from the border.
Holy smokes!
So
you saw some stuff.
Yeah.
Not really. Never went.
But it's around there is what I mean.
Yeah.
What I mean is it's in the air. You got to feel it, right?
Of course, yeah. And it's funny. I had been to the north a few times, but never been to Belfast until I was 32.
Really?
And what happened? And I was living in America at the time, and I got booked to work a cruise ship, to perform on a cruise ship that was going to Belfast. So I had to move to America to get a job, to fly back to finally see Belfast as an adult. Yeah.
Wow. That's wild, man.
Yeah. And so, during that time, and when you were growing up in that environment, do you have any memories of this is it's not safe to go here, or stay away from here? There's tension.
The one memory that always stands out to me, and it was around the Oma bombing. I must have been like 7 at the time.
Yeah,
and it was a Saturday, and I was just at home alone, and there was, for some reason, watching golf. a 7-year-old kid just like watching golf.
It wasn't live golf either.
No. Actually, there is probably a good reason for this. Is because I grew up with 7 TV channels, and I loved sports, and that was the only sport on. So
Yeah, I had 3 channels. We watched a lot of golf.
Yeah, so-
NASCAR too.
Yeah, so 7 years old, watching golf, and I just remember red writing flashing up at the bottom of the screen saying a bomb has gone off in Oma, Tyrone. Wow. And it ended up, I think it was 28 people died in that.
Wow.
And that was the last. After that, there was like the Good Friday Agreement, like the peace treaty and all that. Clinton was heavily involved in that. Bill. That was kind of my main memory of it, yeah.
Wowie.
It's always interesting to me with someone that grows up in any area of instability, and like where just like there's things as a kid, because you're when you're a kid you don't know any different. And
you're still doing kid stuff.
Yeah.
So you're trying to find something to do on a Saturday. You know, like you're like, golf's okay, and you're probably laying there looking at a magazine while it's on or something.
Yeah. It's like it's always so weird to see kids like playing in the streets of a war-torn country, where it's like they're still innocent playing like.
I don't care who you're bombing. I'm playing soccer.
But then there's like there's killing and like crazy things.
Right,
going on.
they're kicking a ball around. And there's a flash grenade and
I got to get this energy out, man. I'm going outside.
And also, you're like fearless because you don't even know like what to be afraid of.
It's a beautiful ignorance,
reality.
Right? Beautiful
it's crazy
ignorance
to me.
and running around.
It's crazy.
You know, and your parents just kind of shielding you from it and protecting you from something so sinister and terrible.
Yeah. All right, good way to end.
Great job.
I do.
We should have not talked about that.
Welcome back to War-Torn Children with Tom and Dan. I'm your host.
We ended so well last segment.
Every other part of this was so delightfully.
Every week we're gonna bring in a new. Every week we bring in a new comedian that grew up in a war-torn country, and we interview him about his childhood war memories.
War stories.
We had the funny
childhood war stories. It's not war stories. It's childhood war stories.
We had the
Hold me closer, awkward banter.
learning permit, the wedding. It was so good.
This is what happens when you don't ask for 4 things.
Yeah.
We ran out. We're like, God, war torn. Tell us about the bombings.
Wow,
how many people killed?
We really nailed that first segment.
Somehow, I think this made the best of though, because it's pretty good.
Can't win them all. All right, Sean. I appreciate it again. Just call Mo Comedy Jam on Thursday.
Yep.
Come out.
See this guy. Go support local comedy and do something very good for charity.
Yeah, come hang out with us, and we'll see you tomorrow. Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We're live on Twitch and YouTube. Hey, come check it out.
We have a guest on the couch. He cannot be shown because of his job, but he's here for a weird job. And it's weird that we've never actually done this weird job because... Are
you sure we've never done this weird job?
No, I don't know.
Okay, I like that.
We've been doing it for a decade.
I like that because in the way that this is how Tom and I do research about things that we've done. Yeah. You'll say, hey, have we done this? And I'll be like, doesn't ring a bell. And you'll be like, 100%. And I feel like that's why I was going to say I love you. I do. I care about you. That's why I love you, man, is that you're reckless a little bit like I am, rough around the edges, and I just think it fits.
Well, I'm doing the math that we've never done this just because first it's a job that it's a popular job, but it's also a job that it's hard for this particular job to go on media because they get scrutinized, and then also in the past 5 years I went through a rough patch.
I go through a rough patch.
They're like, stay away from the media. Then they're back now. So anyway, we'll explain what the job is. But Daniel's got.
Here we go. I'm stuck in this jingle thing. I like making these weird little jingles, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go.
Weird Job Wednesday presents
a police officer.
No, I like that.
Look at that. That was
good.
based on like fractured fairy tales. Remember, like Fractured Fairy Tales? Like I like them like quick. It's like a little Disney kind of thing.
We're just going to refer to this gentleman as Officer Quailman.
Officer Quailman.
How you doing, Officer Quailman?
I'm doing good.
Oh, wait, hold on. Do I have your mic? No, wrong mic. Hold on.
There
I
you go.
apologize.
You had to be on a different side
Don't
of the couch.
tase me, bro.
I like that.
I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to bully a cop. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I like when someone screams, "Don't tase me," and you tase them anyway. But that's
Do you
my
know
favorite.
That the
It's an
Florida,
invitation.
you know, the Florida Gators "Don't tase me, bro" guy was so infamous in the Dennis household. Do you know that me and my wife, if we mess up or do anything, that is like our number one yelled phrase in our house. I'll just be like, "Wow!" and she'll be like lighting me up, and I'll be like, "Don't tase me, bro!" And like we still use it. We still use it.
So, Officer Quailman, and we say Officer
you for being here,
Quailman
man.
because he's a BDM.
How long have you been with us?
And-
I feel like you've been with us a very long time.
I've been paying you guys since 2016, but I've been listening to you guys since you were on the radio.
All right, almost a gold star. You're a gold star next year.
Everything has to have levels and numbers. He's giving out gift bags to this person. You're a silver star. You're gold, platinum over here. Secret Society.
How do I get the Secret Society level?
We can't even talk about that yet.
So we say Officer Quailman because Officer Quailman gives us quail eggs at every event that he goes to, and I take the quail eggs home and I look at them and I can't eat them because I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. I'm just like, ew. Even though the chicken eggs are grosser because they are dirty, disgusting animals.
Well, quails might be dirty, disgusting animals.
No,
are
they're
quails nicer?
They're nicer.
Nicer? Are they cleaner? Would you consider a quail a cleaner fowl than a?
Yeah, the poop's smaller.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
And it's just,
I guess I am cleaner than Shaquille O'Neal.
And they all just come from like a giant chicken factory. They're all stuffed together, disease. You know what I'm saying? Like we're fine with eating those, but the little tiny quail eggs, and they're like, you know, as farm to table as you can get. He raises them in his backyard, and I still look at them like, I can't eat that. Too weak.
I go with a lot of things. Though. A lot of eggs.
Yeah.
Eggs are. I'm a traditional egg man. Fish eggs is hard.
So, Officer Quailman, let's start from the beginning. Now, like, I always wondered, could I easily become a cop if I just like, all right, I want to become a cop?
Well, you have the haircut and dickhead attitude.
I know. I'm a perfect cop. And I'm
You got to get the knife hands.
Yeah. You need some knife hands. Yeah, you do.
Yeah. And so much of the evidence is going straight in my pocket. Like, I got everything it takes.
Yeah.
Like,
you don't like to be wrong. You don't take no for an answer.
Yeah. Now the body cam's ruined it though, because now I can't let anybody go and be cool, and I can't be like, I'll let you off, but you know what you have to do. One cop got it that one time. He ruined it for everybody.
Yeah, he did.
Anyway, so can I easily become a cop tomorrow?
So, being a cop is the hardest job to get, but it's the easiest job to lose.
Okay.
I feel like that's on a statue at a flea market somewhere. And you're buying like the lamp for your cop friend.
It's got the blue line on it.
Yeah, that says that.
Is it hard just because of the vetting process that all departments have to go through now because of, you have to find the right individual, the right personality?
Yeah, and also before you even go into the hiring process, you have to do 770 hours in the state of Florida for the academy.
700 hours.
Yeah.
Now
That was the original title of that movie with the guy and the boulder.
Yeah.
It was excruciating.
It was like no one can live this long.
You do want to cut your hands off before you get to the end of it.
Yeah.
So, what is involved in the academy?
So the academy, it starts out with your first course is law. So right off the bat, you start doing constitutional law and diving into state statutes. You do defensive all the high liability classes you got to do. So defensive tactics, driving, the range, shooting, and then you get into like CIT, mental health classes.
Okay.
Yeah, Andrea's brother went through the academy and excelled. Like he crushed it, and he loved the process. Like he every day he'd come home like talking about like the shooting or the different aspects of it. He loved it. He thought it was really exciting and really fun.
It is super fun, and going through the course, you get really tight with your classmates, and you get to learn a little bit of responsibility because depending on the class size, you're looking at either 30 to almost 50 cadets in the class.
Do you guys shower like storm ship troopers? I've always
Men and women together.
Yeah, I've always.
Yeah.
I'm here for equality.
Yeah.
I want everybody equal, and I feel like when people say I feel like one restroom, no doors. I'm here for equality.
One shower head in the middle of the room.
Yeah, I'm here for that.
Is it a little bit like? Is there anything like Army boot camp? Is like
Kind of. Like, you got to show up every morning and do formation, and you get inspected by the squad leaders.
do they yell at you and do that kind of put you through?
Tom and I
anything
like that. We signed up for an alpha male boot camp. This is our second alpha male boot camp, right? Tom and I, we love them. We can't get enough of these alpha. In fact, we're going to do our own Tom and Dan alpha male boot camp. Details later.
So
like the first week is like, Shark Week in the Army.
Yeah, okay.
Or Shark Day. And there's a little bit of yelling and, hurry up, get to where you need to be. But after that,
fat tub of crap.
Yeah. I always heard of a Hell Week, never a Shark Week. Or Shark Week. Sorry.
you want a shark.
Oh my God, this guy.
So now, how many people drop out or don't pass the academy? Like going through that process, is it a high failure rate?
I mean, it's not too bad. My class started out with 42, and we dropped down to 31.
Okay, all right. Wow. So, I mean, that's
more than I thought.
Because I would expect that, the job of police officer is hard and scrutinized so much that it's not as popular as it used to be. And so they don't have enough recruits.
Comes with a lot of responsibility and baggage.
Yeah.
That maybe we didn't think about. It was always there, but we didn't think about it years ago.
You don't think about it.
Sure. For instance, after 9/11 and even for years after, there were so many firefighters
getting free breakfast. I know.
But
I say I'm a first responder.
Like when my buddy Joe was trying to become a firefighter like 10 years ago, there were like he would apply for a job and he's like, there's 3,000 other people applying for the job. I'm like 3,000. I'm like, that's insane. He's like, they're picking 2 out of 3,000. I'm like, you're never gonna get a job. Like that's crazy.
I remember that.
And then it's changed since then. But is that any are they having a hard time recruiting police officers?
Yeah, now we're having a hard time.
Okay.
Like when I got recruited, there were 252 applicants for 5 spots. Since then, it's hard for us to get anywhere close to what we need.
It's almost like everyone's on the internet just scrolling, and they don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have any teachers, we don't have any cops, firefighters.
Well, they don't want to get yelled at by people they don't know. They don't want to worry about getting shot at. They don't nobody wants to do it.
The paperwork too. People don't think
that's
about.
The other. I didn't know. I had no understanding of the amount of paperwork when I first signed up.
Yeah,
it is absolutely insane.
Is it the most you do?
Yeah. There's an affidavit for everything.
Yeah.
There's something you got to fill out for anything that you do.
Yeah.
It's insane, but everything has to be documented.
Also, if I go to pull someone over, let's say I'm a cop. Right?
You look at that.
You
pull me over, I'm like, oh, God, this guy's straight and narrow.
I'm like, I pull him over or whatever. I get out of the car, I go up.
Maybe I'm on my scooter.
And then I'm like, and I'm nice. I'm like, hey, because I have no reason not to be nice. I'm like,
hey.
License and registration. And he pulls that move or he rolls down his window 1 inch and he's like, sovereign citizen, I do not have to speak to you. No, I do not have to show you anything.
Normally, they don't even talk that much. They just tape it. Have you seen the guy that tapes it to the window?
Or they just hand you a little packet out through the slit.
I'm not a cop, but I think I would break his window with an ass so fast.
I'm like, I'm going to not only break your window, but I'm going to pull you out of the car and just start hitting you.
And we saw that. We saw that in Jacksonville. That's what happened, right? That guy got pulled over and he wasn't really complying, and that's a mess.
I'm going to say my body cam broke, and then I'm going to start hitting you.
That's a mess. That is a mess.
Well, anyway. They think they're street side lawyers.
Right.
They know everything.
Right.
And by the way, that makes them mad, right? And by them, I mean you.
It doesn't make you mad. It's irritating.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're a dumbass. Like,
if
you want to choose this option, then we can go that route.
All right, Quailman. So now that we're loose, I'm going to start asking a bunch of questions. So I've the people that say like, you have no right to search my car, right? Or like, I'm not going to take this breathalyzer.
Oh, the roadside lawyers. He's referencing. Yeah.
And then so like
CD Sarah in our chat room says, she screams, "I know my rights," and then she says, but they never know their rights.
No, they don't.
They never.
But also like you don't like if you're like, hey, if Quailman, you pull me over, and then you're like, I want to search your car, and then I'm like, no, I do not give you permission. Immediately, I'm thinking, well, now this guy knows I'm guilty.
Yeah.
He knows I got something in my car because that's just, obviously, I'm like, hey, can I search your car? I'm like, no. And then it's like, that's telling you that there's something in my car.
Yeah, you and I have always been like, sir, have you been drinking tonight? No, sir. Like we've always, you want to search my car?
I've only had 2.
Search my car.
So
search it up.
Is that, I mean, I know legally it's no admission of guilt. It's your right to say no, but then also, I can then bring the dogs and all this other stuff. I'm escalating it. It seems like I'm escalating it. Is that true? What do you think?
It depends. It all depends on the situation. Like like I've been doing this for a while. If somebody says, I don't want you to search my car, usually it's, from what I can tell, it's just they don't want their rights violated. And they do know that they have a right to the Fourth Amendment and against searches and seizures.
But when they say, I don't want you to search, I go, oh, there's definitely something in there, right? Why else would you say
I'd love
no?
to see the stat on like the people that say it because they do want to preserve that right, and I respect that. But then they do search it, and there's like, we found nothing. Like, is it that a lot, or is that a little?
Yeah.
50-50.
It'd be okay. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see where that lands.
If I did have nothing in my truck and the guy's like, I want to search your car, like I'd be like, all right, I would never think to say no.
Honestly,
I'd only say no if I was guilty.
I smoke so much weed, I don't know what's in my car.
Yeah. I just say no.
There literally could be an open container in my car right now. I wouldn't even know it.
So going back to the training.
That's not true. It's a joke.
So
Can I search your car?
No, but people get real mad.
Also, if you did have a beer can, like just roll like a White Claw, it just like from
Tracy knows
in your car or whatever. Like, how much of a big deal is that?
It's not. It's a citation.
Yeah.
And
now that I know that,
if it does have liquid in it, then it's a citation. Otherwise, it could just be garbage.
And then if it's garbage, if you have an empty can, then
that's why I use a mini vac to dry on my cans while I'm drinking and driving.
Well, it's been in there for weeks.
No, I'll literally hold the can out the window and just use the air from the car to dry it.
So I want to go back to, like, you graduate the academy and now you're, I guess, what's the lowest? How many levels of cop, like rookie? What do you start off
black
as?
belt?
What do you start off as? Like just a street cop?
Yeah. You're just on patrol.
Okay,
you're a boot.
And so when
that's the slang for it, boot.
Yeah.
Okay. And then boots.
I like boots. Walking over Africa.
And you go. Do they put you with someone to learn the ropes and train with someone first, or is it totally by yourself?
Yeah, no. As soon as you get hired, you go through orientation. Depending on the agency, the orientation is different.
Gilbert, you're with Jelinski. Jelinski, don't you mess up. Right? Pretty good.
Yeah.
So you get assigned an FTO. You go through 4 phases. First phase is kind of like you're just sitting there, you're taking everything in, and your trainer is showing you what to do.
Because it's a lot.
It is. You go home every day with a headache.
That is the one thing that Andrea's brother said is like he's like the first days on. It's so intense.
And it's 12-hour shifts.
Yeah,
it's 12 hours of
so
that.
much stuff.
Well, knowing all the state law. And because, you obviously studied in the academy, you take the tests and stuff like that. But then real time, like when you're dealing with someone, you're like, I imagine you're nervous. You're on your first stop and you pull someone over, and then you have to know you cannot violate someone's rights. Like, and if you do,
I keep my gun out the whole time just in case.
Yeah.
Just for safety.
I fire one just as soon as you pull over.
When I pull up, when I pull up to your house, it's domestic violence. I pull up. I let one off, and then I walk up like, what's the problem?
Yeah, it's like, everybody be cool.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
here. over, and I'm new, so just let's start. Just everyone calm the F down.
Yeah, you're pointing, you're shaking.
Can I use your bathroom?
So, I mean, I can imagine it's, nerve-wracking, like, making sure you're doing everything right. And then what happens if you do, by accident, violate someone's rights? Like, how much trouble can you get into? Is there a thing like, hey, I'm sorry, I messed that up? Like, can you say that?
I mean to grope you.
No, I just mean, like,
it depends on how far it goes.
Okay.
But if you're an FTO, your trainer's going to step in before you even do anything stupid like that, or at least they should.
So, like, it reminds me of the case in Florida where the guy had a bumper sticker on the back of his truck that said, "I eat A." And then,
we love that guy.
by the way,
That's our governor, isn't it?
The ass man.
who does that? By giant bold letters.
I
on
was
the back of his
actually
truck?
thinking about getting hit in skins and put it on my car.
My favorite is only gay cops pull me over.
There's a sticker that says that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm getting that one.
I drive by them and I wave at them.
Fantastic. Only gay cops go over here. That's hilarious. Should we sell one of those? It just says Tom and Dan. We should just take credit for that.
So,
that's
like,
good.
in that situation, that guy ended up getting arrested, and then it was a big hoopla because technically they shouldn't have got arrested for that, and then he ended up being let go, and this whole thing. I don't know if there was any lawsuit involved in it, but it was like, well, technically there's no law. He's trying to say profanity.
Most of them, they don't let it in. Most of them do go to some sort of a lawsuit because it's not like people to be cool and be like, okay, we worked it out.
And sometimes it's your interpretation of the law, like you're
right.
You know,
that comes into a huge play is each officer's interpretation of it. Like we do have case law that says exactly what we can do and what we can't.
Right.
But there are a bunch of laws that come into interpretation, and we have arguments about it in read off all the time.
So you're constantly having to like kind of train in different scenarios and talk out these scenarios. Wow.
Yes.
It's a practice that's always changing as laws change, right? Yeah. So it's like just like a doctor, you're practicing, and you're a lawyer, you're practicing law. It's flowing.
It's getting to the point where you almost need to have a PhD in law enforcement. Because we're mental health counselors, we're lawyers, we're like all these different responsibilities that we have to bear, and the academy does not give you everything that you need. You have to learn all this stuff over time.
They're crazy scenarios. I mean, there was one just downtown, like I want to say, like 4 weeks ago, where I would say this is how complicated this scenario is. I'm giving you a complicated scenario example. 2 cops pull up because there's been a roommate fight. And he's talking to one of the roommates. While they're talking to the roommate and just getting his statement, nothing is happening, right? It's a normal, they had a little dust up, a little shoving. He's talking to one of the roommates. Someone that's not even a part of the crime comes running from another area holding what they thought was a knife, but it was scissors, and starts, like, charging the cops. So then the cops have to be like, I'm sorry. And then they draw down on the guy because it was just I'm like, how do you even handle that? Like, it's just, there's so much going on there.
And then 5 other people are filming you on his cell phone.
Right.
World star.
And no one's doing anything. No one's helping.
Yeah. How many times have you encountered that lately? Because for the people just filming you on their cell phone.
That's a daily occurrence.
Okay. Yeah. And then how do you feel about that? Because I feel like I'd kick it out of their hands. And I'm like, hit them with your billing.
Well, you're a traditional old school cop. You're a new character, 1950s cop Tom.
Yeah.
Those were the good days.
I'm breaking everybody's taillight immediately.
You didn't go to guns immediately, but you did use that billy club incessantly, like all the time.
It's an extension of your arm.
Yeah. Any mental illness I run across, I'm like, hit them over the head.
Well, it wouldn't have been mental illness. You'd be like, the idiot, lock up that dumb guy. It was not about like you need to understand
I know. I didn't. I was uneducated. I don't know about mental illness. I'm like, this guy's stupid.
This guy's been drinking bleach. Roll him in a gutter.
So if someone legally allowed to film you, and you just have to take it, right, and just go about your day.
Like, as long as they're not interfering with the investigation, then they can do whatever they want. They can yell at us, they can scream, they can video us.
Sure,
doesn't matter.
Because there are some people now that try to be the swinging other side of the 180 argument, like when you have like cop watch people and people that are almost out there to like actively. And I'm not I'm not anti it really. I hate how they do it sometimes. I understand what the premise of it is.
It's a checks and balance.
It's a checks and balance.
Yeah.
I get it.
Are you talking about the Second Amendment auditors?
Yeah.
I love those guys.
But some of them just like, sometimes I'm just like, I don't think you're doing it right. You know, like I think there's better ways to do it.
They're trying to instigate.
Yeah, sometimes it seems like that. Yeah.
And when you're doing it for social media, that's
what changes it. You're right.
That's what changes. So like
They're turning it into a job.
That
becomes like a career at that point.
There's guys in Florida that will walk around with ARs on their back because now it's open carry or whatever, and they'll be fishing next to some canal that there's no fish. It's all polluted anyway. But they're doing it. They're doing it because it's on a busy street, and they know they're going to get a bunch of people calling 911. Like, hey, there's two guys with ARs on their back. Like, who the hell? Especially in a time where it's like you're afraid there's some sort of shooter or something. Like, of course people are afraid.
Yeah.
And then the cops show up, and then they draw down on them.
Rights, yeah.
And then he's like, "This is my right to have this," and technically it is. But it's like the cops are like, "Hey, we got to make sure the society's safe." Like, we had 20 calls about this because there's two guys with ARs, and then it's like, it's all they have GoPros because they're filming it for social media, and then it's like, what have you done?
It's not even real at that point.
Yeah. Like, yes.
So that aspect, the stuff that you have to deal with, it isn't even real. Is odd. How much has social media or changed your job? Would you say has it ratcheted things up, made it worse, had any effect?
For me, it hasn't had any effect. I do what I'm supposed to do when I'm supposed to do it.
Gotcha.
But I know there are officers that they're absolutely petrified of saying something wrong, doing something wrong. Mm-hmm. And it's the body cam dictates that attitude toward of
right. And that's why it's there. I mean, it is there as a deterrent as well to keep checks and balances.
But there is an element that we screwed ourselves. Because I've said this before, it helps and then it hurts. And what it does hurt is the ability that I lived through 20 years ago when I was a dumb teen and would get pulled over, or my friends would get pulled over, and the cops are like, just get out of here, get home. And then like they're letting you go. Don't like escalate this to ruin this kid's life.
So it shackled the be cool, bro.
Yeah, it did shackle it because the cop's like, I cannot let you go because this is all on camera, and if something happens to you, I'll lose my job.
Yeah.
Which you can, as long as you can articulate and justify what you did and why you did it, then you can still do that.
Oh, really?
It's just this younger generation of cops, they don't understand that. They're too scared.
Because they just err on the side of caution because it's like, I'm not going to lose my job for this.
Could I argue this? That in that case, maybe they would have to. I don't want to make it this is too general, but like it's more work, so they'd have to go in. If you do something, you will have to justify your actions, which is reasonable. But they don't want to do that because it's hard.
Gone has the time of when you find a little nug in somebody's car and you just throw it into the water and then it's destroyed.
Right.
You now have to take that. You have to generate a report and submit it for destruction.
Right.
Let's talk about the olden days of police work, because I remember when I was in high school in the 90s, I went to this girl's house that she threw a party, and it was a gigantic house with a pool, a huge backyard. Sorry, party area.
Are you going to admit to a crime? It sounds like he's setting up it's something. I need to get this off my chest.
And I remember I was like, man, this place is nice, and we were like, man. And then one of my friends was like, yeah, her dad's a cop. And I'm like, a cop? Like, how the hell does he live in this mansion with it? And then I was in Miami, I'm like, that was a dirty cop. It's like there was a lot more.
What about that security guard for the heat? He was a dirty guy.
The one who was stealing stuff.
Yeah, that guy was stealing millions of dollars.
Now, here's the thing, though. You're stealing from drug dealers. Like, you're stealing from crime.
So are you making the argument that you are a Robin Hood, sir?
Well, there's an element of that where it's like,
cop Robin Hood.
Who is this cop hurting, really? He's taking like money that would end up in
he's hurting the sanctity of the job.
Yeah. I guess you're stealing from some cocaine dealer. I don't know, and who knows if what he.
But you're not doing what you're still stealing. It doesn't matter who you're stealing from.
If you're a thief, what gives you the right to bust other thieves?
Right.
Well,
Oh,
he's
look
a
at this guy.
cocaine dealer.
Thankfully,
Quellman.
there's some
That's how I'm
morals in this
justifying
room.
it. It's like, I'm stealing from the underworld.
Welcome back to Good Cop, Bad Cop. Playing the role of bad cop today is my good friend and business partner, Tom Van. And we have a real cop here, too.
And did that, or am I making that stuff up because I see it in movies, or do you think it happened like if, 20, 25 years, 50 years ago when did that stuff? Did you ever hear of that stuff?
It still happens.
Oh, all right.
I mean, you just have that sheriff over in, what was it, Osceola sheriff who had the underground gambling ring?
Yeah, we want to start an underground casino.
Do it.
Tom and I have been wanting to do that. And then there was another one. They just caught another one. Osceola was the oldest one. There was one in, in Lake now? Or there's another one that just happened. I can't remember where it was, but...
How many... Okay, because I have this theory that they're, these underground gambling casinos, they're everywhere. Same thing with, massage parlors. Guess what? I would guess 75% of the massage parlors that just have a red massage light and blacked out windows, there's happy endings going on.
No, I
there.
try them.
And then,
I know for a fact it's closer to 60%.
And everybody knows about it. The cops know, society knows, and it's just something that happens. And the cops are like, I can't bust them all. And then every once in a while, they'll get busted, and then that'll make the news.
Then why do they make it? Why bust any then?
Because they have...
There's a complaint.
Yeah, a complaint, or someone wants to go undercover, like Quailman. It's like, I'll take this one, boss.
I gotta get in there.
Yeah. And then when they go for it, I'll report back.
All I need is just them going for it. I don't even need the act.
No, you have to let them go through the whole act so that the crime is committed. You're undercover officers. You have to smoke the ice.
Now it's a felony.
Yeah. I would be perfect, though, because I will sleep with a Hell's Angel's wife in order to stay in the club. Stay in the club, and then I'll murder someone. Accomplice to murder. I don't know if I could be a trigger man.
So,
I don't think I have it in me.
How much do the police officers know? Yes, there are crimes going on, but that's a part of society, and we can't bust them all, and that's what happens.
Well, so there's a difference between knowing that there's a crime going on and having evidence that there's a crime going on.
Okay, yeah. Because you have to work off the evidence back to, the legal process. That
we show up to scenes and stuff, and it's we know something happened here, and we know that there's evidence inside, but we can't prove that there's evidence inside. So the case just gets shut then.
I think that causes a lot of problems in society.
Yeah,
where
the cops aren't doing anything about anything.
Yeah. Where you guys are shackled by the law that protects all citizens, but a lot of citizens are confused by that. For instance, I saw a documentary about was it the lady that got murdered out in Utah, and the guy escaped and basically was on the run, and Dog the Bounty Hunter was looking for him.
Oh, yeah.
But during that case, they got pulled over for some domestic dispute thing, and only
Are you talking about Gabby Paletto?
Yeah. And then I guess, Gabby.
I forget her name.
But it was something like that. And then
Brian Laundrie is the gentleman.
Brian Laundrie. Yeah. And then the cops had it on body cam when they pulled him over, and she admitted that she hit him, even though it seemed like, even in the body cam footage, that it's this guy was abusive or whatever. But all the cops had to go on was the testimony.
Oh, that happens all the time on Patrol Live. They have we got to take somebody.
Those are great scenes that they show on that show.
Oh, really? I enjoy it. It can be a little intense sometimes, a little much.
Society was what do you mean? Of course that she was afraid or whatever, but then it's the cops can only do what by the letter of the evidence is happening. Yes, they probably knew, and everybody watching it probably knew that the reality of what's going on, but you can't go by speculation. You got to go by only facts, and that's what keeps us safe. Yep. And also that keeps the rules of the law, and so a lot of people get confused. But they should have known, and they should have done something, and it's they're literally handcuffed by the actuality of only going by the evidence, right? And that happens a lot too.
Especially now that there's cameras on you,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you can't even, not that you would tamper with anything, that's not what I'm saying, but the ultimate be cool bro of working it out, the human aspect of that.
That's gone.
It's gone because now it's like.
Yeah, it's got to be like a computer, almost. So I want to ask you about a couple things. And so I've seen a lot of kids riding Sur-on dirt bikes around the streets.
We have a gang involvement.
Yeah.
And I'm mad at them, but not for the reason people think. I'm mad at them because they're going to get really, really hurt, man.
Well, that's your own. Listen, that's on them.
That's Darwinism.
I hate it, though. God, I hate when I see it and they're wheeling, or they're going to hurt some old granny around here. And run over some
Well, the
old
sad
lady.
thing is that their parents haven't taught them that this is not an acceptable thing to do.
Well,
That's what the real problem is.
if they're riding around, I like it. I like it.
Blowing through stop signs is not something I can ever say I like. But hey, if you want to raise your kids that way, that's on you.
But I'm also confused by it because I remember a time in when I used to ride dirt bikes and stuff, like you were four-wheelers, dirt bikes. You couldn't get away with riding them on the street. My brother was riding his dirt bike in Deltona on the streets and got a ticket. It ended up escalating. He never paid it. He got a warrant out for his arrest or whatever. Ask the fans. But it was always like, man, you like if a cop sees you riding an off-road vehicle or like a motorized vehicle that's not registered on the streets, like you're going to get pulled over immediately. And that's why I was so confused when my buddy Turkey Lake rides his Sur-on around Miami, and I've talked about it multiple
all
times.
over here.
But so what is
There's
your
Sur-ons
take?
with no helmet all over the place.
Like, if someone's riding a Sur-on on the street and they're obeying traffic rules, like I saw some kid literally yesterday, he stopped at the stoplight and went and he rode in front of me.
Oh, yeah, there's great kids, but there's also a pack of animals.
But he doesn't have a tag, and I'm like, he doesn't look like he's afraid at all about getting pulled over by the cops, and it doesn't seem like the cops care. And I'm like, this is interesting.
Not around here, they don't.
Is it like nowadays, or you're just like, whatever?
It depends. Like, these kids are, some of them, they do stop. They're doing what they're supposed to do. However, they are riding an illegal vehicle on the roadway. So if it's an electric, like dirt bike style, and it's just got the pegs, it doesn't have any way to use human power.
Yeah.
You can't ride that on the road.
Yeah. But it seems like they are.
Yeah, they are. But I mean, as long as you're doing what you're supposed to do, like, I'm not going to mess with you. If you start doing something stupid, then I'm going to, I'm going to talk to you. It's not going to be an official thing. But if you start being an ass, then it's going to turn into an official
It's
thing.
a big deal now.
If you're wheeling or acting reckless, you're like, hey, you could hurt someone. But if you're obeying the laws, then you're like, whatever. Like, so Turkey Lake's right.
I mean, I don't have a problem. If they obey the laws, I have no problem with it. These guys aren't, and it's a bigger problem than we think. And old Chitwood over in Volusia County, he's the one spearheading right now. He's trying to change the law on electric bikes and Sur-ons. He wants to shut them all down. Because he had the kid on the first day of school was riding a Sur-on to school, and I guess he hit a car and almost lost his leg. Like he almost died.
Well, the other thing too is these kids are riding around. They got their headphones on. They can't hear what's going on, and they're just doing whatever they want to.
That's the scooter gang, and they wear over the ear headphones, like noise canceling. I'm like, wowie.
Yeah, they have no idea what their surroundings are.
It's also
sounds fun.
I mean, they're riding a motorcycle. Like
I've never thought to put my Apple Air Max on and ride my scooter around. It might be awesome, but
in a completely different world.
Really dangerous.
There's no way in hell I'd let my sons ride a motorcycle on the streets. Just because people aren't paying attention. Like, they're looking at their phones. You're going to kill you for sure.
That kid almost died.
Like, that's
why
Chitwood
Chitwood has made it. He's made it like that every morning when I'm watching the news. Chitwood's on there talking about, and they're actively trying to change the laws because people can't be cool, bro. If you guys just mind and be cool, you won't get it taken away. But they're coming for your electric bikes.
I was on a scene. It was a crash scene, and the subject was on an electric style vehicle. Had their headphones on, wasn't paying attention to anything, just made an immediate left turn into traffic and got struck by a car. And her skull was imprinted on the windshield, and there was hair and skin material inside the windshield. And it's like, you could have died because you weren't paying attention.
Speaking of that, how much atrocity are you exposed to? Because my buddy is a firefighter, or as the cops call them, hose draggers. Hose dragger.
before. I never heard that before. Hose dragger.
He often is exposed to horrible things that I'm like, people burned, like just
he's
the
told
worst.
me some stories.
And death and things like that. And I'm like, man, that's a part of the job that's rough that I think.
That is something that they also don't talk about in the academy.
Yeah, that sticks with you. Like, I've seen people die before in car accidents, and one in particular, and then it's still like in the back of my mind. It haunted me for like a month after I saw it. It's still like it traumatizes you, and it's hard to eat your Cheerios.
You told me it was
morning.
like the movie Crash for you. Didn't you say it was like the movie Crash?
It was. It's rough to deal with. So how do you compartmentalize that?
I don't have a good answer for that. My wife's been telling me for years I need to go to a counselor and talk to people because I've seen horrific things.
Yeah.
I've had to deal with infant fatalities that were the same age as my daughters. Like,
God.
It's brutal, and I don't have a good answer for it.
Yeah.
You just have to
You just have to deal with it.
Put it in a compartment, and probably maybe when you're done with this, you can, or maybe you don't have to. I don't know.
I don't have the answer for that. I'm sure somebody does.
But you like your job, though.
Yes.
I mean, you love your job, and you obviously value helping people.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
What's the hours like? Is it where the longer you're a police officer, the better shifts you get? Like, do you get the worst ones at the beginning, kind of like everybody's job?
It depends on if your agency still values seniority.
Okay. Oh, so some don't.
Yes.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh man, that would have been.
You're getting like, what is the best shift?
I've been working here 40 years. They got me on the night.
Like,
I've seen it done.
Man.
And does it change all the time? Do you work weekends sometimes and not other times? And like, is there any 9 to 5 type of optimal?
There are some 9 to 5 gigs at different police agencies. The normal patrol schedule in most of Central Florida is 12-hour shifts. You work 2 days on, 2 days off, 3 days on, 2 days off, 2 days on, 3 days off.
Okay, why do they stagger it like that?
The math just works out.
Okay.
Tom loves math.
Yeah, so every other weekend you have 3 days off, but that means every other weekend you have 3 days on.
Gotcha. All right. And then for you, I'd imagine like overnights, like you'll see the craziest things, but there's a lot of slow time. Like 4 a.m, like most people are asleep.
Yeah, but you do see a topless homeless. Falling out of a dumpster or something crazy.
You got tees hanging out everywhere.
Yeah. You got booty juice on you and stuff.
So what's the best shifts and the worst shifts?
So it all depends on what you like. Like night shift is super fun.
Okay.
You don't have to worry about running into admin that you don't like or that you have beef with.
What does that mean, admin?
Administration.
Okay.
Like lieutenants, captains, majors.
Because they're all at home, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they're on the office job, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they do the 9 to 5 thing.
Okay.
Because they're weak and fat. I know. I was falling into character. Sorry, I was falling into character. I thought we were bros.
I mean, I'm not going to say you're wrong.
Yeah, we're going out for some Rolling Rocks after this.
So night
bros.
shift, but you run into more crazy things at night.
Oh yeah. It gets weird.
So, and how does that work as far as like when you're on patrol? Are you told where to go? Do you just
Everyone's making fun of you for not knowing what administration is.
I know it.
The whole chat room.
Do you have a gun? Oh, shoot those TVs.
That would be awesome. That's what we need to do.
You got to do a desk pop.
Now that is a clip for Melissa. If you had grabbed his service revolver and shot our TV, and I'm like, and then I turned off the camera, that would have been amazing.
I know what admin. I don't know. And the reference he's mentioned, don't run the admin. I was like, well, what exactly?
Well, use logic. I mean, you always say
but it could mean a lot of different things. Anyway,
it can't be.
What means the boss? I don't know. Anyway,
that was an all-time low there.
It's like BC.
Yeah, that was wrong. That was wrong. I didn't know it, but I knew. I
It was
agreed with him,
AD.
though.
I screwed up. It was AD.
And I
was
agreed
thinking
with
of-
him. I
it
did
was- It meant like add dominoes or something.
Dominoes, mother.
It was not PC. Anyway,
Follow him to hell.
so I forgot my damn question.
Oh my God, the Tylenol! It's
So-
oh God! I told you to try Advil. I begged you.
So day shift has its perks.
Okay.
It's very conducive to family life. But then all the negatives are like you deal with all the BS calls, shoplifting, arguments. My neighbor said this. My neighbor did
I
that.
don't know, shoplifting. You could cut a. I don't know, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to cut your bra. Man.
I've seen the video.
Pause.
Yeah, like, okay, all right, now you know what to do.
I mean, no offense.
The
I'm not.
cheeks.
I'm
If you
not,
don't want a record,
No
Yeah,
offense, but it's the only word you've said since you've been here that I found interesting. Is shoplifting. It made me horny. No, I'm kidding.
And sometimes the mom gets involved.
Oh, she's got. I like that.
Yeah.
And then they're both sitting there, and you're. But why keep your tie on?
so they know that you're all about business.
Quellman knows.
Yeah, Quellman does know.
So what are the worst calls that you get? And I know, like, every once in a while we'll see some news story about someone called the cops because they didn't get barbecue sauce and the nugget order.
Well, that's mental illness, right?
No, I know.
Yeah, it is mental illness.
So how many, like, out of percentage-wise, how many BS calls do you show up to that you are like, the police didn't need to be called for this?
Ooh, well, dispatch has to kind of weed that out too, right? Or no?
Yes, but
Oh, they don't?
no. Excuse me.
They're just passing it along.
I think I pass it along too. I'm with dispatch. I would just send you out
Because
there.
here they can get in trouble if they don't pass it along. So just like the rookie cops, the Gen Zs, they're like, I just gotta do it because that's the, if I don't do it and then it goes back to me, I can lose my job. So then it's a bunch of waste
This
of
is
time.
one of the more complicated jobs we've talked
Yeah,
about,
yeah.
I think, as far as red tape.
Yeah, I would say that 75% of the calls that you go on to, at least in the daytime, is just adults not knowing how to adult. And
Acting like babies.
Yeah, they need a mediator with a gun to come in and explain things.
And they get, and
Oh,
you
it's disappointing.
You get a
It
hand,
is.
Yeah. That's when you start hitting them with the butter.
You should be allowed. I feel like you should be allowed. If
Yeah,
you
yeah.
get there and they're just arguing, like what happened with those cops downtown, it was like roommates arguing. I'm like, if you get there and they're like, we were shoving each other, like, I should stand up, come over here, and I get to whack you one time in the head with my billy club.
All right, before we run out of time, have you ever tased someone in active duty?
So my first instinct is to always go hands-on. If there's not a weapon
You're a
involved.
dog the bounty hunter, guys.
Skin on skin.
Yeah, my wife says that now.
Well,
We're
because
like,
if you use the taser, it's a use of force.
And then you have to.
That's more paperwork.
A lot of paperwork, and then confetti comes out where it shows what officer shot it out, and
Yeah.
like, oh, confetti,
I
pick
didn't
it up.
know that.
And depending
I didn't
on
know that.
how hands-on you go, you can articulate that it was just a assist or like there wasn't any actual physical violence that you did.
Gotcha. So yeah, it's a way. And how have you ever had to discharge your firearm?
No, I came close a couple of times.
Is that rare? Because I feel like most people think that like most cops have shot either a person or discharged their firearm, and I think it's more rare than the public thinks.
Yeah, no,
right?
you have more use of force for hands-on activity than you do with firing your firearm.
Gotcha. So it's usually, and now, if you're wrestling someone, have you ever had a situation where you thought you were being overtaken and you're like, oh my God, like, because you have to worry about them grabbing your gun and stuff like that is a huge problem, right?
That always has to be in the back of your head that, if where are their hands in relationship to my weapons? And you have to control those hands. But most of the time, I'm very fortunate, and most agencies inside Central Florida are very fortunate that their backup 30 seconds out.
Right, it's quick.
And so that 30-second fight is going to feel long, but then next thing you know, you get to take a little bit of a break because now your buddy's here and they're helping you.
Gotcha. Do you have to wear a bulletproof vest? Is that part of
That's policy, yeah.
Okay, so
I wouldn't do it. I'd be like hockey, no mask.
I mean,
well, I'd be like, oh, this thing's so hot and uncomfortable.
No,
like,
I would rub it. I'd walk around to everybody else. I'd be like, what are you, scared?
Yeah. And I would be like,
No, I would not do that. I would wear I'd wear a head-to-toe vest.
Well, that's the thing. I was like, most likely they're going to shoot me in the head anyway. This is all a waste of time.
no, they can't aim.
No. You're right. So
Number one weapon you see. Is it a knife, scissors, something like that?
Knives.
Yeah,
bladed objects.
Always knives.
Do you ever run?
Knives are bad. Knives are disgusting and cause a lot of damage.
They can inflict self-harm, too.
Yeah.
You're just wielding it, and you end up slicing your own arm.
Just acting crazy. Yeah. You see that a lot on Live PD where guys will have a knife out, and they'll just be yelling crazy, but they end up cutting themselves.
Yeah.
Because they're just acting nuts.
And number one call, like, that's serious is domestic violence or things like that?
Yeah,
domestic?
that's the number one call that we go to, and it's also the most volatile call
For
that
you.
we go to.
It's the most dangerous for you,
Yeah, because
right?
a lot of people, they'll claim domestic violence, and it's just to ambush us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like, they'll, like, as a trap, they'll...
We just had one in Orange County a couple months ago.
That's crazy.
Jesus Christ. I remember that. You're right.
Yeah.
And then every car you walk up to, you have the risk of, like, a crazy person shooting you, right?
Yeah. You don't even have to be pulling over the car. I had buddies, they were on their way to a call, and this car in front of them thought that the cops were following him. And he got out at a red light and charged my buddies. And they had to draw down on him, and then he ended up, one of them tackled him.
My God.
But it was just a random occurrence.
You gotta have balls to try and get ahead of the problem and just be like, oh, the cops are here? All right, I'm charging them.
Well, I feel like every police officer, I'm sure, Quailman, you'll agree, has to deal with mental illness on a weekly basis, if not daily.
Daily.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are the first responders to mental illness in our society, which there's a lot of.
There is a lot, and that needs to be addressed.
And let's end
I'm
with
not
this.
doing it.
I'm putting my head in the sand and gun in the air.
That's our shirt. Head of the sand, gun in the air. Tom and Dick.
Last question. What's the annual salary of a cop, around about?
I think in this area, I want to say it's at like 62.
Not enough for the hassle. Not even close.
Not enough. We've had teacher and cop on, and it's like, you guys are not getting enough dough.
You don't do it for the money.
God, those hose draggers, they're making big.
Yeah.
You know what? And so I did not know this when I became a cop, is that SWAT teams, they recruit firefighters to be SWAT medics. So you can have the whole fun of sitting in a lazy boy and dragging hoses, and then still get to carry a gun and play pew-pew.
Oh, that's the deal.
That guy.
Yeah.
So SWAT medic is what we're looking for.
That is the creme de la creme.
I mean, if you know one, let's talk to SWAT. Because I figured we could do cop a little longer. This was fun.
Yeah. It was fun. Well, Quailman,
thank
we
you,
ran out of
man.
time.
Very
anytime.
cool.
Thank you.
We owe him to next time he gives us eggs. We owe him to eat one on the air.
I know.
I'll have my daughter cook them because she's obsessed with making her own scrambled eggs. I'll have Maisie scramble us some quail eggs. I'll bring them over here. We'll eat them live on the air.
I'll bring you the little scissors.
Because now I feel like a baby.
I know, man. I know.
But you're right. It seems gross, right? It sounds like a booger snot.
You're like, what is this? It's too tiny.
Hey, thank you again, man.
Yeah, anytime you guys want.
All right, we will see you tomorrow. Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch. We are live on YouTube. You can come over, hang out in the chat room, talk to everybody, watch the show live on the YouTube. Just search for @Tom and Dan Live. It's @Tom and Dan Live on all social media.
We've got a guest on the line. We have Graham Sharp from the Steep Canyon Rangers on the line. How you doing, Graham?
I'm doing great this morning. How you guys doing?
Real good, man. Hey, and I want to do our due diligence first because I was just at the Ponte Vedra Concert Hall, and you can see Graham Friday, October 3rd, 7:30 at the Ponte Vedra Beach Concert Hall. It's a great venue. And then you can also see him with Steve Martin, Martin Short, Jeff Babko, and the Steep Canyon Rangers on October 4th. That's that's one show at Hard Rock Live Hollywood. And then 2 shows Sunday, October 5th at Ruth Eckerd Hall. Man, it is such an honor to be able to talk to such a true musician and bluegrass legend, and thank you so much for the time, man. We appreciate you calling up our show.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Glad to be here. Looking forward to being down your way here in a day or two.
Do you get to Florida a lot? And because, we saw, when was it, 5 years ago? We saw Steve Martin and Martin Short at the Dr. Phillips Center here in town.
Yeah.
And I know he did play banjo, but you guys have been kind of palling around together for quite a long time, have you not?
Yeah, I think it's 16 years now we've been playing with Steve. So I think somehow that makes the Steep Canyon Rangers his longest running collaborator of his career, maybe, which is pretty crazy to think about.
How did that relationship start, Graham?
We just sort of connected randomly, actually through through Ann, his wife, and we kind of knew her a little bit, and then that was right around when he was kind of getting back into his bluegrass career.
Yeah.
And sort of one thing, like a spaghetti dinner, turned into like him sort of sitting in a couple times, turned into a benefit show here and there, turned into a world tour, turned into 2 albums, and all this, now 16 years later.
And now you can see him here in Florida. And you're a banjo guy too, right? Is that what you started on as a young man?
That's right. Well, I started in college, so yeah, a lot younger than I am now.
Right on. And banjo is one of those instruments. I had an old Deering. The one that you buy when you want to learn, that little Deering learner banjo.
The good time.
Yeah, the good time. And I had one of those, and I taught myself how to just kind of tinker around on it. And I will tell you, it is one of the most satisfying instruments to play because of the different picking patterns with your right hand. Like, how did you grow to sort of fall in love with the banjo? Because it's a pretty unique instrument.
Yeah, I was a big lover of the Grateful Dead, kind of in my high school days.
Yeah.
And Jerry Garcia, the guitar player, Jerry Garcia was a banjo player, it turns out.
I know what.
And he got really close to, like, having a career in bluegrass music. And I don't know, there's this story of this moment where he's staying on a hill at a bluegrass festival looking out, and he sort of makes the decision. He's like, nope, I'm going back to San Francisco. And that was the end of the bluegrass dream for him, and the beginning of what became the Grateful Dead. That's the story, at least.
Wow. I've never heard that.
I fell in love with the banjo from there. I know, isn't it a cool story?
Yeah, because I find that the banjo normally kind of carries with it, that type of instrument, it kind of carries those type of stories. It's like it is a very unique and interesting instrument. Yes, Tom, question.
So, Graham, speaking of dreams, I saw on your social media you did something that would be my personal dream to do in my lifetime and is amazing, and it's flying across the country with your son in a small plane, and I was looking at the photos and stuff. I'm like, this is awesome.
It looks amazing.
So
dude.
How did this all happen, Graham?
He got the flying bug, early in his life, and as soon as he possibly could, he had some great mentors, and there's some programs where, some folks with planes will take kind of young folks up in the plane and actually give them the yoke and let them fly, and he just fell into it, and then, from then on, like, he was getting his every certification the first day he could, the day he turned 16, the day he turned 17, the day he turned 18, and worked as a flight instructor really hard, and ended up buying a plane that was in Portland, Oregon. So the only way to get it back home was for him and I to go out there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Tiny little plane across the country. Yeah.
So you guys were actually, he is using his funds to purchase his own. Man, how proud are you of your guy buying his own plane and then learning how to fly it? That is so cool.
Flying it from Portland to, was it North Carolina?
Yes, Portland to North Carolina via, Santa Fe is where we had to end up going around the Rockies because of the weather. But it was such an adventure, and I'm no help in that. I can't fly. The only reason I could really help is I'm old enough to rent a car and get a hotel rooms where we couldn't do. But.
So first,
play a little banjo in the sky. I don't know.
How old is your son, and what kind of plane was it?
So he's 19 now. He was 18 at the time. But, yes, it's called an RV-6, which is just it's like a kit-built plane. They call them experimental planes, which is terrifying. I don't want to be in experimental planes, but that's what it is. It's just a tiny little thing. It's actually an aerobatics plane is what it is. But, he took it easy on me and didn't do any barrel rolls.
Okay, my God, your kid bought an aerobatics plane. That's awesome.
Graham, I want to put myself in your shoes for a second because no one knows their sons like their dad, right? And because
I agree with that.
And I know my sons are 10 and 11, so they're way younger. But I imagine if they ever had this dream, first, it would be awesome, and I'd love to experience my son flying me across the country in a plane he bought himself. But I would also think about all those times he forgot his backpack and his lunch and all the little mistakes he's made throughout his life. And then I'm like, well, how safe is this? Like,
Also, he's you, and you know you.
Yeah.
He's a part of you, and you know how forgetful you are.
And that's fine. If I go down with my son, that's the way I want to go. But were you nervous at all?
Well, I mean, yeah, when you mention it, it's like there's times when I wonder, I'm like, I'm not even sure if he can feed himself. But when you sit down and you watch somebody go through like a whole pre-flight routine and just like how meticulous and sort of step-by-step methodical it is, it starts kind of putting you at ease when you see them like really, like I said, not taking anything for granted, not missing a step. And, I think as a parent, you slowly sort of come to accept these things, and what's terrifying in one moment, a few months later becomes a little more so. So, yeah, it's strangely got to be normal.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And did he ever express any interest in becoming a musician at all, or was he always more of the engineer brain, pilot brain type of person?
Yeah, interestingly, he never really, he can play piano, pretty well, but, that was never for him. But then again, I was 18 years old before I fell into music like I'm doing it now too. So I tell people, if your child is 12, like your sons, if they're 10 or 11 and they haven't shown any interest in something, it doesn't mean it's never going to happen. You know what I mean? Like I see people who say, "Oh, my kid, he would never do that," but I didn't start till I was 18 years old, so you just never know.
Yeah,
what you're going to fall in love with.
Back to bluegrass for a second. Last night here in town, and again, you can see you can see Steep Canyon Rangers. You can see a solo show right now at October 3rd at Ponte Vedra Concert Hall. Also, Steve Martin Short, and Steep Canyon Rangers will be October 4th at Hard Rock Live, October 5th at Ruth Eckerd Hall. How many hours do you have to put in to truly learning that craft? I was watching last night here in town. Molly Tuttle was in town, and I went to her show to see her play, and she's one of the greatest guitar players I have ever seen play. When you were learning at 18, was it the age-old, like, I lock myself in my room and just give the banjo hours? Like, because bluegrass and that's, like, traditional music seems so hard.
Yeah, that's it. It's like that thing they say, 10,000 hours to mastery.
And there's no other way
around.
Molly
Tuttle's flipped that dial over. No, there's no substitute for it.
Right.
And people like Molly Tuttle and with the band us, we've all flipped that dial over several times.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky. I still love to do it. I still get up in the morning and like to play. That's what I've been doing this morning, writing and playing music. I love to do it. So it doesn't feel like work. It still feels like a calling, if you will.
Do you write on banjo since that's your main instrument, or do you try to write on guitar?
I mostly write on guitar.
Gotcha.
Mostly on guitar, yeah.
So I'm curious, Graham. You said you've been with Steve Martin Short for partnered up with 16 years, and with did you see an incredible increase in audience when Only Murders came out and kind of reinvigorated their career? Because me and my wife and now my sons watch the Only Murders, and it's a gigantic show. I'm sure that put steroids into their popularity.
Yeah, it's cool. And so we started, we were with Steve, just us and Steve, and then with Edie Brickell and doing music stuff for probably the first half of that time. And then Marty, they joined up and doing the comedy show. And then about halfway through that, Only Murders in the Building came out. And it's been a real boost. Like you mentioned, we're doing 2 shows in Clearwater, and that's become almost a norm, is where one show is selling out and they're adding another show. And it's amazing. For all the success that these guys have had, you can see what it means to them, and how excited they get about it. I couldn't believe it. I don't know, after the first season of Murders, the Building came out, they're like, "Can you believe it? We've got a hit." We're like, "Well, yeah, I can believe it." Yeah. They still feel that same way.
Yeah, it's got to be weird for you to know these guys who are and they're your friends, but these guys are, to me, they are 2 of the biggest Hollywood and comedy legends that you could ever see. So to have them kind of just cavalier to you about like, oh, can you believe it? We actually did it this time. It's like, guys, you've been doing it your entire lives.
Yeah, and to me, it's a testament to just watching them. And when me and Daniel watch them live, and when we watch Only Murders, I'm like, man, you can continue that same level of comedy, of enthusiasm, of sharpness,
energy
into your older age, which is kind of become a thing in society where we see older coaches are like, he's too old to coach anymore, still doesn't have it. It's like, man, you can still perform at a high level even as you get older.
So you're saying that maybe Steve Martin could come coach the UNC football team?
He can do anything.
He's great. Yeah, I think he could do it.
Well, Graham, we really appreciate the interview today. Thank you so much for taking the time. And
enjoy your time in Florida. You know, we love when we get guys like you in our state, so we appreciate you.
Is there any more plans to fly around the country with your son?
No, not as it stands. He's got a girlfriend now at college.
Girlfriends are better than playing too.
I knew I'm going to lose my sons to some girls one day.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll fly with me once. So.
Thank you so much for the time, and good luck with the shows, okay?
Hey, I really appreciate y'all. You'll have a great one.
All right,
Thanks,
man.
Graham.
You too. I wish I had a cool voice like that when I ended interviews. Y'all be good, have fun. Me and my son are tougher and cooler than you'll ever be.
I'm friends with Steve Martin.
I play bluegrass. My son's a man. You're weak. You're a weak little man.
That would be awesome, though. Like when I saw that him flying with the son and then cross country, just jumping from airport to airport, and I didn't even know the backstory of his in a plane that his son wanted to buy.
They were having to dodge
awesome.
clouds to avoid ice.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Well, those small planes are the sketchiest way to fly. Like, if you are going to have a problem, it's a small plane. Like, people are so afraid of commercial airlines and bigger.
So many redundancies. Like, okay, I'll tell you how
those small planes, they
go down a lot too. Like, I'll just show you how irrational fear works. To me, it feels in my brain more comforting to think about being in that little plane alone flying it myself
than in a commercial
flight. I understand that to those of you listening that you think about that and you're like, you're an idiot. I don't.
No.
It's not something that I actively choose to feel. This is just the feeling that I think I was born with it, Lady Gaga.
Yeah, but I think that is normal for everybody because I'm not scared of flying at all, but I feel safer and I've felt safer in smaller planes where I could see the pilot. I've flown in many small planes where either you're sitting right behind the pilot or you're sitting passenger. The pilot's there. You could talk to him. That does feel safer than a commercial airline, even though it is 100% not.
Because you're not seeing anything.
Also, I'm like, you could land anywhere on this tiny plane.
Do you want me to talk about last night's concert just to kind of tie it into music?
Yeah.
Okay, so last night I did go to Plaza Live to see Joshua Ray Walker open for Molly Tuttle, who's a very famous bluegrass guitar player. And something happened on stage that I've never experienced before in a concert where, Joshua Ray Walker's up there, and he's had some pretty significant health problems over the past couple years. I guess just 9 months ago, or maybe right at a year, he was diagnosed with stage 3B colon cancer.
Yeah.
And it looked like he was going to die. Like he was told, it's here, So he went into kind of go mode and started recording just tons of songs. He's doing cover albums and writing music and stuff like that. And through a series of surgeries and everything, it looks like last night he's on the stage and we're all watching him play. And he stops after the third or fourth song and he goes, hey, I've been dealing with some health problems and everything. And, just this morning I got my scans back and I just wanted to let you guys know that, it just looks like no more cancer, no more. And the whole place went crazy. He said, no more cancer. The place goes crazy with positive energy. I've never had this happen before. I've seen fights, drunk guy fights. I've seen women flash. I've seen, you got Afro Man punches a lady and people fall off the stage. I've seen all kinds of stuff, but nothing that positive. It was like the most positive thing at a concert. The whole crowd went, "Yeah, no cancer." Then he continued playing more songs.
Now, is there at least one person that is going to say, like, well, hold on, I bought this ticket because I thought it was your last show?
I mean, that is kind of why I bought the ticket, right? Isn't that what I told you? Isn't that exactly what I told you?
I'm joking.
No, I know you're joking, but isn't that exactly
awesome,
what I told you? Like on Monday, I was like, I'm going to see this guy because I don't know how much longer he's going to be around.
Well, it's like the mattress barn saying, we're not going out of business. You're like, I just bought this mattress. But yeah, no, that's cool that he was able to announce that and his cancer wins a remission.
Yeah.
It's also cool that you'll go to a concert by yourself. Like I
texted your wife about that. I had to be inspired by her.
She does it. Yeah, my wife does it.
It's hard.
I wonder if that's an emotional person thing.
It's a hard thing to do. But I did it, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. I saw Jordan Foley out there. I saw some listeners. Shout out to, I bought some, don't be mad at me, but I put a couple rounds on the company card for some listeners.
Where'd you buy them?
Just a Coors Light, there's a couple of beers. Nothing. I didn't buy them any merch or anything. I just bought them some sensible $17 Coors
Light. Those listeners better appreciate it.
They did. And you know why? Because they came back later and they bought me a Coors Light.
All right.
It was very nice. Didn't really equal out because I was buying more, but that's, I'll get in front of that before you do.
And so you go out, watch a show, then come back. You said you didn't even stay for the headliner, right?
I did for a couple of songs. I did like maybe 5 songs, and then it was like I didn't want to feel super tired today, but I didn't want to go out. I got to get better at that, man. Like my anxiety has nothing to do with anything rational. Like my anxiety of like what did I have to do this morning? Nothing. I was organized. I had everything done.
Well, yeah, we also had our first new show, Love Thy Neighbor, that we had to record, and then there's Moe's Comedy Jam tonight.
Yeah,
there's a lot of
2 nights
things.
in a row.
Yeah. We had last minute interview with Graham that we got all the 5 minutes to prepare for.
Oh, that was tough. I was sweating. I was sweating.
But we got it done. You know what? We need more pressure because we operate fairly well under pressure.
Oh, I'd give us better than a fairly.
Yeah.
It kills me, but I'm decent at it. But it does take time off my life.
Yeah.
I can feel it.
But we operate good
because once we're done with this segment, we'll pause everything. I'll have to walk into the bathroom and spit blood in the toilet.
That's fine. It's like the 11.
A little water in my face.
Sometimes you get a nosebleed because you tried so hard. Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah, but yeah, it was fun. It is weird though going out alone because and I wanted to ask you this: when I go to concerts alone, I don't know what your wife does, but I don't know what to do with myself when I don't know anybody. Like I don't know where to stand. Because one of the main reasons why it's more fun to go to a concert, well, not fun, one of the reasons why it's more comfortable to go to a concert with more people is that you have somebody to stand with.
Yeah.
Jordan Foley had one of his buddies with him, and they knew each other, and they were standing together. But they didn't invite me to the show. I sort of just went to the show. So it would have been weird for me to go and just, stand behind them to be part of their group.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that's weird, but then I don't want to stand by myself because that's awkward, too. So I stood with the listeners.
Yeah, especially any downtime between sets or whatever, then there's because when it's like going to the movies by yourself, that's fine because the movie's happening, who cares? You're not talking
during the show, yeah.
During the show.
You don't have to say nothing, you just concentrate on the music.
Yeah. And so I would do well, it's weird because I'm fine with just sitting and not talking to anybody.
Yeah, and you could stand anywhere.
Yeah, and you know what?
And you're not going to be self-conscious about where you're standing. See, the way my anxiety works, I was standing in the back of general admission, where kind of where the sound booth is, but I was in the middle of the extra lobby area, right? So I was like, should I stand here? I was second guessing where I was standing. I was like, just go hide in the corner.
See, I would feel self-conscious when meeting the listeners because they would be like, why is this guy here by himself? He's a weirdo. He's got no friends.
They did say that.
He's got no friends or family.
I overheard them saying that.
Yeah. Well, that's what I would think.
Yeah, they're like, why is he here? They're like, why isn't he home with his loving family? They don't love him.
But you know what is the advantage of seeing a show by yourself? And Crystal realized this, and she's been doing it, is if you wait till the last minute, this is not your game because you like to be prepared.
Yeah.
But because single tickets go on sale on game time
they're so cheap.
for super cheap, so you can get if you wait till after the actual event started, let's say the opener's up, and then you go on Game Time or one of these apps that sell tickets last minute, you can get damn near first row or close, and because those single
pennies,
seats, they don't sell, and they just want to get rid of them. So Crystal got some really good tickets to some artists that she saw at the Amway, like super good seats for $30.
Yeah,
and she was like, "Look, I'm right next to the stage," because she got snagged that one single ticket that they didn't sell because no one else wants it. Because if you go to a concert by yourself, you're crazy.
I knew there was an
discounted.
I knew there was an insult.
They're discounted, and so I like that because she can go and see the stuff she likes for $30. But then again, you're by yourself like a crazy person.
There is a certain amount of control I like of watching. I didn't have to worry about between songs. Okay. You know the weight that you feel sometimes if I brought Andrea along to this concert, these are not artists that she really likes as much as I do.
Oh, yeah. You're worried that if they're having a good time.
Yeah. There's that weight that, because it would bother me. I don't. You know what really, one of the ones that I remember and it hurt me, it didn't hurt me, but I remember doing it and I was like, oh, I shouldn't have brought them to this, is when we brought you guys to Rent. Because it's not your thing. I was really having anxiety, and I kept looking at them like, oh, they don't like this AIDS musical that we like. I was like, they don't like this.
Yeah, you're right. I hated it the whole time. No. But I think, on the opposite, I'm kind of like that in the fact that if I go to a concert, I need to be with someone to even know if I'm having a good time.
Yeah, man,
I'm just sitting there. I'm watching it. I'm like, is this good? I need someone next to me.
What do I do here?
Having a good time to be like, oh, this is good.
Could you change quickly,
I'm like, maybe it's bad.
If you're standing around people and you're watching, let's say you were at the show I was at last night and everybody was cheering, yay.
Oh,
and then let's say they were like, whoa, suddenly, would you be like, oh, well, no. And you would change right with them?
I do whatever the crowd does.
Okay, that's good to know.
If they're having a good time, I'm like, this is good. Bad time, bad. All right. Let's take a break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time. Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We're live on Twitch. We're live on YouTube, and you can be there too. Join the chat room. Just search for @Tom and Dan Live on every single social platform.
We have 2 giant events coming up November 22nd, 23rd, the weekend before Thanksgiving weekend. It's our Bad at Business Beer Fest. Just show up at noon to get your sample cup and wristband, and it's a free beer fest, live music, tons of food trucks, tons of other entertainment.
THC seltzers will be out there.
Yeah.
You can mix THC seltzers with beers if you want to have your wife or husband drive you home. Or get tased somewhere in Sanford later that night.
Just Uber. And then Sofas and Suds is the next day. It's the Sanford couch races that me and Daniel have always hosted. So come out, and for both events, they're both free.
Yeah.
And they're both great.
Here's something I know. Vince, have you ever been on the line with us? You know him from the New Blurred Order podcast. You may also know him from just being a damn fine comedian. Vince Taylor, everybody. How you doing, man?
Hey, what's going on there, Tom? There, Dan.
Good to see you.
I'm Vince. I'm here. I'm happy.
Hey, did you know white people like to put wheels on anything and race it? Anything. Couches, NASCARs. We'll just slap.
Have you been to studio was on wheels. I always had to catch y'all in motion.
Have you been to the Sanford couch races ever? Have you ever been to that?
Nah, I ain't been to Sanford since my daughter was born at the hospital.
Okay, all right, I feel you. Hey, I'm moving on.
I love Sanford. Literally, I love Sanford, but I haven't been in a minute, though. What's going on?
No, we gotta get Vince down there.
We have a bunch of small businesses build a couch, and I say build a couch, a lot of them now have steering wheels. Before, when it started, it was just they put wheels on a regular couch and people would push it. Now you could actually steer them. They've got more advanced.
They have suspension systems on them, and they actually race them in the streets of Sanford.
Yeah, and oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Tommy. I didn't mean to speak over you, fam.
No. We're doing the we're like, hey,
I like that. Let's do the whole show of that.
Well, I was just going to say the first thing I'm thinking is it a remote control couch? Can I drive it like Dr. Emmett Brown through the Twin Peaks Mall parking lot? Does it go up to 88 miles an hour? Can I go back to 1955? Like, if this couch cannot be remote controlled, then I think we need to go back to the drawing board. That's the first thing.
We're not there yet.
Couldn't you see that? Like, we already got those idiots, and y'all are probably amongst them, that ride the bike and drink at the same time down First Street. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? That they got like the machine where you're riding the bicycle, like you're pedaling, but you're also being served drinks at the same time.
That's also a white people thing.
Yeah, white people love to pedal.
Yeah, while you're sitting at a bar.
Somewhere in I'm guessing
I've never got drunk while training for American Ninja Warrior at the same time, but evidently on First Street it's a thing. But if y'all gonna have wheels on a couch, I need a remote control, and I need it to not be radio control so that every now and then it stops and starts and starts and starts.
Gotcha. I don't think we're there yet. It's not, we don't have like drone couch racing yet, but eventually it will get there.
Yeah.
It'll get there.
And someone should do a Back to the Future themed couch. That would win best, audience.
I mean, maybe it would have won 30 years ago, Grandma. What do you want to do? Back movie. Oh yeah. Hey, somebody. You know what? Somebody should do a little Charlie Chaplin's The Little Tramp couch. Boy, that would be amazing.
So, Vince, let's get to it. Let's talk some nerd news. I actually saw a couple things, but
what you got, buddy?
Well, I and maybe Vince can explain. I didn't know that Marvel and in the Marvel universe has different phases, I guess, and I'm not sure if they came up with this or like the actual audience or the fans of the Marvel universe came up with these phases. But
I'm not familiar with this. Can you guys explain phases?
Can you explain to the phases?
Okay, yeah. Well, Kevin Feige, all right, who was like one of the original arbiters of the Marvel Cinematic Universe that we know of it as, did conduct this in phases. Phase 1 was the introduction of these outlying individuals that were superheroes in the Marvel comics into the cinematic universe. All right, let's keep it real. Now, we all can, at this time in 2025, say, of course, Thor, of course, Iron Man. But back when they were starting these movies, they didn't want to use Iron Man. They wanted to use Spider-Man, Wolverine, the X-Men, but they had been sold. The X-Men's rights were sold to Fox Media, and Spider-Man's rights were sold to Sony. So they had to use the characters that were not necessarily the most popular out of Marvel's because they didn't have their own studios. Marvel Studios, you know that whole where all the images come up in the beginning? That wasn't always the case. They didn't always have their own studio. They had to work through others. So the first phase was introduction. That's where you meet the new version of the Incredible Hulk. That's not Ed Norton. That's not that's not Eric Bana. You get Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo.
You get,
right.
Okay. Then you get Thor as Chris Hemsworth. You get Iron Man as Robert Downey Jr. That is phase 1, the introduction. That's when we actually fight Loki, who came down from. Man, I don't realize how much of this stuff is in my head.
I love it.
I talk to y'all. It's so random to me. But anyway,
it's almost like you're a blurred or something.
It is amazing, Vince, that as I'm looking at you, you're a cool dude that is an athletic
good-looking guy. You really are breaking the mold, dude.
And the fact that you know all this nerdy stuff, I mean, in my mind, does knock you down a peg or two in the cool world.
You're not as smooth.
What about? Sorry, go ahead, man.
No. I was just gonna say, Tom is absolutely right. If you just like with the smile and the good looks, the fit, everything on you looks great until you start opening your mouth about this Marvel crap, and then it's like,
you the top Power Rangers ski, man. Remember when Bilbo slapped Gollum in Lord of the Rings or in the Shire, man? It was so cool. And like, oh man, I was gonna give you some, but now that I know you, anyway. So I know that was phase 1. Phase 2 is now these superheroes have more to do. That's when we get Age of Ultron. That's when. Then phase 3, now we're fighting Thanos. Okay? Now, phase 4 is where things get flipped on their head. Because now we have the multiverse. And the multiverse can be problematic. We got a really good movie with Spider-Man, No Way Home.
Yeah.
We got Doctor Strange 2. Those both embodied the multiverse brilliantly. Especially the Spider-Man one, because we got to get Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire back into the Spider-Man suits. But the problem you have with the multiverse is you've given an infinite amount of characters so that when somebody dies, so to speak, you don't really feel it anymore. Right? Literally Loki has died 3 times now. 3 times. All right? He died in one of the first movies, and then he was killed by Thanos. And Thanos even said, there's no coming back from this one. He came back. He got 2 seasons. 2 seasons on Disney Plus. And you're like, but you died already. All right, we lost Heimdall, who was played by Idris Elba. He was the guarder of the Bifrost. Oh my God, I need a life. Why? I should not know this.
It's good. It's good. Keep going.
And so we lose Idris Elba. We get his son. All right, which is cool. We get to see. Hopefully, they haven't released it yet, but I think they're going to give us Idris Elba's fictitious son in the upcoming movies as the new arbiter of the Bifrost through Heimdall. But right now we're in phase 5. Now phase 5 is weird because it started off with us supposed to be having Kang, who was played by Jonathan Majors at the time, as the main antagonist of this phase.
But he got into a little trouble.
The white woman.
Yeah.
He went and ran away from a white woman in the street and had some domestic issues, unfortunately, and then told the white woman, "Look, I need you to be Coretta Scott King," and she was like,
Hold on, what did he do?
It was a whole. He had a very, I guess, publicized incident with a loved one.
What does that mean?
Tom, have you seen Enemy of the State with Will Smith?
Yes.
All right, just imagine you and your wife or your girl or whatever had an argument, but the world was watching through surveillance. Like, that's basically what happened. Like, they got to an argument. He was in his car. He tried to get out. She tried to grab him. He, like, shoved her a little bit, scratched her. Yeah. Then he ran, right? But after, it turns out they were both hurting. It was a toxic relationship.
Yeah, the whole thing is bad.
Concerned.
Yeah, both sides very bad.
Toxic,
but when that's
it made it worse because she went to the police.
Yeah, and then when that's being watched, and then you're connecting yourself, and it is. And am I correct in saying this is right when like ink is dry on paper? We know that this is coming. They're about everything. All dominoes are in place for him to be this new vehicle. Phase 5, and here we are, and bye-bye. We don't want to work with you anymore. You're gone. You're basically canceled and done.
Yeah, and now you see the luxury of using a Thanos character who was 100% CGI, and I know it was voiced by Josh Brolin, but they could, if Josh Brolin said something stupid, then they just get another voice.
Yeah, or AI that mess, you know?
Yeah, you AI it. But when Jonathan Majors killed, like literally had probably one of the best monologues I may have ever seen in my entire life. Literally. If you watch the Loki first season, the very last episode, he has the screen for literally like 15 minutes of a 30-minute episode, and he doesn't do much. He sits there and talks. But it's so riveting that he basically gained a role as the main antagonist for Marvel for the next foreseeable future. It was called the Kang Dynasty. Yeah. That was what the whole next phase was supposed to be about. But then because of the domestic stuff, they not only got to take him out the role, they got to go and rewrite because his movie is connected to all these other movies. You know how Marvel does. Like, you know, you make an appearance here, you're an Ant-Man, now you're in now they got to go back and rewrite it. And that is when you get a newly rehired Robert Downey Jr., who now enters the fray to save Marvel in addition to Daredevil, because now he's going to be Dr. Doom. Is it Victor Von Doom? I don't know, because I think it's from a different universe. I'm suspecting it's probably from the same universe as Fantastic Four. But now we get him coming back to take the place of Jonathan Majors, who was supposed to be the big bad villain in the upcoming phases. So, yeah, these phases, they're a little played out at this point. I ain't gonna lie, like the multiverse, people are a little tired of it because they're like, we can't get a definitive death. Like anybody, you could literally just be like, yeah, you're dead, but we're just gonna go to Earth 818 and we're gonna take another you know?
Yeah, I've always hated that, and I'm glad to hear a nerd actually say that they think it's just so cheap, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's bad writing. So just to kind of deflect a little bit from where you're saying, yes, the phases are coming out, but as this is happening, Tommy Dan, James Gunn, who was originally, he worked on Scooby-Doo, he worked on a couple other projects, but his big claim to fame was doing the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, which is another splendid example of what Marvel was able to do with unknown characters. Marvel fans know Guardians of the Galaxy. They know some of these characters, Drax, Star-Lord. But the majority of MCU cinematic goers are not.
Hold on. We have to rewind. We have to rewind.
I put the T. When I realized it was not Gru, it's Groot.
We have to rewind. I want to describe what just happened on our show.
No, it's not Groot.
It's not.
God damn.
So look,
the tree, the baby tree.
Groot.
Okay.
So Vince had he phased you out. You like the chat room was like, "What's wrong with Tom?" And your eyes had glazed over like a dead shark laying on a beach. His eyes had glazed over like he had film over his eyes, like a dead body had been dead in the woods for a month. He glazed over, and then I put the camera back on Vince, and Vince is explaining. You snapped too, and then he started saying things you knew, and you went to say Groot, and you wanted to play too. Right, and he's naming all the Guardians. He named Star-Lord, and then you go, Groove. And then you spit the tea like a full 5 seconds afterwards. That's why you're my favorite, man. That's why Tom's my favorite.
And it's funny you talked about his eyes being glossed over because one of Marvel's most recent releases is a project called Marvel Zombies. And it's kind of outside of the MCU.
Yeah, what do you think of it?
It's based on... Hey, look, man. All right. For those of you out there who are fans of the undead, who are into the undead apocalyptic culture, this is good. But I've never in my life seen a project where zombies also had superpowers. And if you think about it, that's a pretty scary concept. Can you imagine you're going to slice the head off of a zombie, but it's impenetrable?
Right.
Like it's bulletproof skin, or like it decides to start flying and start shooting down at you, or it grabs its axe, Millionaire, and says, you know what? Like this is what Marvel Zombies is. And a lot of your favorite characters don't make it to the end. So for that, I got to give Marvel credit because it got a little too Disney fresh, a little too.
Sure.
And this one is literally guts, gore, blood, death.
I heard
all that you want.
I heard it's I heard it can be a rough watch. I heard it's good.
Yo, it's good. It's not a long. It's 4 episodes. It's a mini series. I think they're 30 to 40 minutes per episode. With I think there may be a end credit scene here or two. But yeah, that's pretty good. I say all this to say, just to kind of circle back to Tommy's question about the phases, with James Gunn, who left DC because he was fired from Marvel. He left Marvel. Because he was fired for a tweet. He was almost fired.
Yeah, they dug back through his Twitter and they were like, "Oh man!"
What did he say again?
He
said. I'll tell you what he said because it was hilarious. He said his shower head wasn't working. He said my shower head doesn't work. Ugh, it feels like a 10-year-old is peeing on me.
And that's why they took her. That's ridiculous.
He lost his job. And so if it wasn't for the guy who played Drax, he's a very what's the dude that played Drax? He was a former Dominique
Batista.
I can't remember his name right now. Somebody in the chat will probably put me. Dave Bautista. Right?
Dave Bautista. Right. Yeah.
Bautista and some of the other castmates. They were originally going to bring another person in to direct and do Guardians of the Galaxy, but they basically was like, nah, if we ain't doing it, if we can't do it with James Gunn. So James Gunn, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was his going away party, if you will, like his swan song. And after that, he's hired from DC to take on the mantle. So now DC is giving good competition to Marvel, which is good because you want Marvel to feel some heat. And one of the projects that is out right now, and I recommend, Tom, if you have not checked it out, I would specifically recommend you. I don't think I have to tell Dan because he probably already knows about it. There's a project called Peacemaker.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I've been telling Tom to watch this. In fact, I told him to watch the opening scene, the orgy scene with his sons. Because he's been looking for the perfect amount of nudity to expose his sons to natural TV show nudity. And it's wild.
That's the one with Cena, right?
Yeah. It's a great show. Did you watch first season?
No, I didn't.
Oh, it's good. The first season of Peacemaker is good.
Really good.
And this
Tommy, I think you can relate to this character. This is a dude who doesn't realize until he's old that his family was racist. And that he didn't even know it because it was so common to him.
I realized that when I was young.
He realized that he actually flourished. He loved it. He bathed in it every day, right? That's what you said.
But yeah, this is a storyline that I've never seen in a comic book universe where a dude is basically a superhero who says he wants to get peace no matter how many women, children he has to kill in order to get peace. And the thing about him is he learns that his father that he looked up to, the White Dragon, was literally like a grand wizard for the Klan. And he has to wrestle with one of the very first interactions in this project. If you watch it, it's like the first few minutes is he's interacting with this dude that lets him out of either his cell or he's in a psych ward or something. And he's like, oh, you're Peacemaker. You're the racist dude. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm not racist. He's like, well, you tend to only like kill people of color. He's like, no, I don't. He's like, I kill white people too. He's like, no, you kill people of color. He's like, well, I'll kill more white people then.
Yeah, it's like a comedy.
Well, it's even enough.
He's like trying to.
He's doing the time.
Like, am I racist? Have I been racist this whole time? Well, how do I not be racist? And so the whole show is kind of like him trying to decide, like, how much of me is what I thought was me, and how much of me is what I need to be. And for his. I'm not a huge wrestling guy right now, but to his credit, John Cena puts on a pretty masterful performance in terms of a guy who's basically known for being muscle bound and jumping off of ropes.
Yeah.
He actually puts together a performance that I think is Academy Award worthy.
I always thought he was a pretty decent actor I think the muscles and everything are so distracting to him. Like, if he just looked like a normal guy, he'd probably be a pretty decent, pretty damn good actor.
It hindered him being a wrestler.
Yeah, and he's a lot bigger. Have you ever met him?
No.
I met him one time years ago at the radio station. He's not super tall, but when you do meet him, he's a big. I met him when he was bigger than he is now. When I met him, he was full on like I'm a
5 foot wide.
Yeah. He's like he is a massive human being, man. But
he's a gamma ray.
But weirdo nice.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And he was cool.
Weirdo
he was
nice.
cool enough to grant us an interview on the red carpet too. So
wow,
we got an interview. If you all are interested, head to New Blurred Order on the Instagram and on our YouTube, and you'll see we had an exclusive interview with John Cena where he opened up about what it's like to act in a manner that kind of presents you as vulnerable, but still you look like a whole ape.
Yeah, he does. He looks like a vanilla gorilla.
So
for sure.
So Vince, going back to the phases, and the reason why I even brought it up is because I saw a story.
Are you mad about it?
No, I never heard it described as phases like that, and then I saw a story recently that Marvel just announced that their Phase 6 isn't starting. They basically pushing back their Phase 6. That's when I even knew that there were phases, and essentially they said they had a holding date of July 23rd, 2027, that they were going to release like the start of Phase 6, and they've delayed it, and instead they replaced that release date with a Simpsons 2 movie, and now everybody's speculating what their Phase 6 is going to be.
So Simpsons 2 is real.
That's what I guess they've said Simpsons 2 is.
Because the ad, I saw the ad, and it looks like a grease stain of a donut, and you see Homer's hand, and he's grabbing a donut, and it says, Homer's coming back for seconds. I saw that ad, and I knew it was going to come up on the show. I thought it was fake AI.
I still do.
Okay.
I thought it was fake AI.
I mean, the story I could have read is fake AI. I have no idea anymore.
Nothing can be done. We have no way to figure anything out anymore. We have ruined the internet.
But I read 2 different stories from something, like one was like Marvel, like their actual website or something. And
it is confirmed. You are correct. But I purposely did not look it up because I'm like, I think this is fake AI.
Even though it's confirmed, I still don't believe it.
So not only The Simpsons 2, which my sons loved the first Simpsons movie.
Oh, I'm in to watch a Simpsons 2.
Although it does have Bart Simpson's tiny Bart Simpson wiener in the movie. It was
tiny yellow pecker.
Which my sons watched it when they were young, and like real young, and then I remember thinking, I'm surprised that no one is more outraged about this in a world of outrage. It's like
I don't think things.
A boy's cartoon wiener.
Yeah, I don't think things change very much, and I've made this point on the show many, many times. There was a book back in the day by Maurice Sendak. You know Where the Wild Things Are. Maurice Sendak is the author, and he also did another book called Amal in the Night Kitchen. In the book Amal in the Night Kitchen, the little boy's like dreaming, and he's falling through a dream sequence, and he's falling into basically like a nighttime kitchen where chefs are making food, and he's naked. And as he's falling, you can kind of see like you said, like a tiny little drawn. I mean, the tiniest little pecker. You see nothing. There's no detail. It's literally like they just drew it to be anatomically correct. And I remember my mom having me go and pull every copy of Amal in the Night Kitchen, a Caldecott winning book, off the library.
Oh, then you burned them.
I had to take them in the back and put the lighter fluid and burn. You burn the books. You got to burn them because God forbid. And this is like late 80s. I'm doing this as a little kid.
Focus on the family.
Yeah, nothing's changed. It's all the same crap.
So Vince, going back to Phase 6, so then I saw that now the speculation, the Phase 6 is going to be these 3 movies: Spider-Man, Brand New Day, Avengers Doomsday, and Avengers Secret Wars. So do you know anything about that? Do you know anything about Phase 6?
Yeah. Okay, so, well, first of all, Where the Wild Things Are was one of my favorite childhood books. It is also one of the first encounters I've had with a cosplayer. If you recall that character, I forget his name, but he was in a monster suit, like the whole
Max,
book, right?
Max.
Max.
Yeah, his name is
Max. Was in like a monster suit. He was walking around.
Yeah, and he had the crown
He never
on.
took it off. That dirty ass monster suit, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And so that was my first encounter with cosplay. That's the difference between wearing a costume, which is just putting on a costume and going somewhere, and cosplay, where you actually embody the character. All right, digress. Back to the point.
That's a smart point, man. Yeah.
So let me fast forward. So with regard to Brand New Day, exciting announcement. If you all were fans of Severance, which almost everybody is, one of the main characters was this guy named Tremel Tillman, all right, who recently won an award for being one of the best supporting actors, broke records for being the first black guy to win a best supporting actors role, I believe.
Mr. Milchek.
Yeah, Milchek. Yeah, you know.
Tom is a man. You love Milchek, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, you're a massive fan.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I love that. But so he's gonna be in Spider-Man, but we don't know what his role is gonna be. Why is this significant? Because a lot of folks are clamoring for the new edition of one of the new editions of Spider-Man, which is a character named Miles Morales, who's black and Puerto Rican, and he's from Brooklyn as opposed to being from Queens. We've been clamoring for his live action debut, right? And we have yet to get it. So when we see Tremel Tillman casted with a question mark under whatever his title is going to be, my first speculation, if you look at the comic book depiction of Miles Morales' father, whose name is Jefferson Morales, he almost looks exactly like not the character from the comic, but the one from the Spider-Verse cartoons. So this could be, I'm not saying it is, but it could be a soft introduction to finally getting Miles Morales onto the live action MCU screen, which we're really geeked about. However, got to preface that by saying we don't know, because we still don't know who he's been casted as. And we also know that Sony has been very stern about telling Marvel, look, back up off of our Spider-Man, because Sony still basically owns Spider-Man rights. And Miles Morales, even though folks are like, yeah, but he's the black Spider-Man. He's Spider-Man. These are adjectives.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had heard that they were going to cast MGK as Black Spider-Man, which would be horribly disrespectful to black people. But I'm sorry, we don't control it. It's just you just follow the money, right?
Well, after what we did to Thomas Hamilton, I ain't tripping. Well,
you made it better, is what you did. You made it so people would finally pay attention. Now people know that story.
Well,
Thanks a lot.
That's true.
Do they have an idea who's going to be Miles Morales if they do a live action Miles Morales?
Well, if they do, they haven't given any indication that that's the case. And as of right now, I've been very outspoken, and everybody, all of my friends on my panels are very much against my mode of thinking, which is that I don't think we should hire somebody that we all know. I don't think we should go to the known person for Miles Morales because it gives us comfort or it sells tickets because their following goes to the movie. I think we should introduce a new character.
Yeah. Can he finally be young? Can we not have a 50-year-old Donald Glover playing Miles Morales? Seriously, we need a young...
He might still be in it because he was in Spider-Man Homecoming. He played the uncle of Miles Morales, who was Aaron, don't do this right now. Aaron,
what if you were being attacked right now? Somebody's like trying to stab you? Don't do this, don't do this.
Oh my God.
Live on the stream.
Anyway, his name is Aaron. And he actually played his uncle, but he just references him. Spider-Man finds him in a garage because he's trying to buy guns from Scorpion, and he webs his hand to the car, and he convinces him, like, look, man, tell me where the guns are. And he finally tells me, all right, go ahead, find them, because I got a nephew who live around here, which is a Easter egg of him referencing Miles Morales. But he also played. He was also in the I'm droning on. I'm sorry, guys. Go ahead, hit me stop. But let me say this last thing. The other news that we have about a Brand New Day, we may not know who Miles Morales is. We may not know who Tremel Tillman is. But what we do have a confirmation from is that this guy named Marvin Sims is going to play a character named Tombstone, who is essentially Tombstone is basically like
he's a pizza,
Luke Cage,
and you can put anything you want on him.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can do that too. You know what I'm saying? But I just think that that's a good announcement. He was in Black Lightning. He played Krondon. So we know that much. But we also know that Tom Holland was recently hospitalized for a stunt gone wrong on set. Evidently, he's fine now, but that's something that's happening. So, yeah, there's a lot going on in the world of Brand New Day. As far as Secret Wars and as far as Doom goes, we just know that RDJ is going to be in it. We don't really, they're keeping a tight lip, but I have a wish list for you.
Okay.
All right. So even though I know that they brought RDJ in to kind of be the lead antagonist of this movie, hence the name Avengers Doomsday, where we probably are going to get Victor Von Doom at his worst because he's one of the smartest villains in the entire Marvel universe. But what I'm hoping for Marvel is that this is a misdirection. All right. I really hope that this is a misdirection. In other words, I hope that they're giving us Doom as a villain, but it ends up not being what we think it is. And there's a greater villain, an even more devious villain, who's more noteworthy than a Dr. Doom.
And that villain, that villain is Tylenol. And the only way to fight it is with a 200-foot baby. This big 200-foot baby.
I'm out. I'm not doing this with y'all. You're too stupid.
I've been eating Tylenol all morning. Did you hear? It causes.
I thought it made you smart.
Yeah.
Damn it.
My wife told me this morning that you eat Tylenol, it takes away your vaccines. I'm sorry, Vince. I'm really sorry.
Oh my God. I've lost intellect by being on this show.
Yeah, we always do. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make everybody a little dumber every minute of the day.
But yeah, that's what's going on, man.
What else, Tom? You got something else?
So speaking, not to keep going back to the phases, but
please.
They also mentioned that in all the previous phases, like I guess phase 1 was 6 movies, phase 2 was like 12, like a double, didn't it?
Right.
But it was always no less than 6, and they said that phase 5, the current phase we're in, is going to be the least amount of movies, and then I guess they are pulling back, so maybe phase 6 is only going to be 3, which is way less, and that kind of goes with the narrative that you've been talking about of like them pulling back a little bit because they realize there's way too much out there.
Well, yeah, there's a report out, and I wish I could cite it because I like to be as accurate as possible. But if you just Google, you'll see that there's reporting about Marvel and Disney agreeing to start limiting the content that they've been putting out because there's been oversaturation, in my opinion. They want to blame the lack of success on some of their projects, such as Madam Web, which even it's not an MCU project, but Madam Web and maybe even like Thunderbolts. Blame the lack of success to superhero fatigue. But then you turn around and you see movies like Deadpool break records. You know what I'm saying? So you're like, it's not superhero, it's bad content fatigue. You know, if the movie's good, if the project's good, people are going to watch it. I just watched Alien Earth. We just interviewed 2 of the main characters from Alien Earth, Babu Sise and Jonathan Ajayi. And that show is killing it right now. And no superhero fatigue is being mentioned, even though I know it's sci-fi. Now, as far as excuse me, coffee coming back up. As far as the over exertion of content, I 100%, and I know this ain't popular, especially for those of us that live in the Central Florida area. And don't listen in on this, Bob Iger, but I blame Disney 100%. 100%. Now, you could say it's a deal between 2 parties and they're both responsible. But ultimately what happened was Netflix happened, Hulu happened, Amazon Prime happened, Apple TV happened. Disney looked around and was like, yo, we're missing a lot of money. We should make an app that's got a lot of stuff that we could put on that app exclusively. Then they bought Star Wars, bought National Geographic, they had been on ESPN,
right.
Bought Marvel. They've been on that as well. But they're like, yo, we need y'all to fill up our programming list with content. And so Marvel's like, done. Instead of being like, well, hold on. If we go to the well too much, we might not, people might come to the well. They're like, nah, we got characters on characters on characters. All right, 10 series later, all right, people are like, I don't even know if I need to watch the next Marvel release.
Yeah.
And so now Marvel is realizing like, yeah, we might have gone back. So that might have something to do why they're scaling back for phase 6, because keep in mind, the first phase was all movie based. Second phase, movie based. 3 and 4, you start bringing in the TV shows as well.
Yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah, you start bringing in, you also got WandaVision included, and now you also got the Captain America, Winter Soldier,
and you take away the ease, like going to the movies or knowing where to find the main story was easy. Even Tom said when he was going through all of these with your boys, you're like I'm watching this one, you're like WandaVision this. And
I'll tell you, it's a lot.
Yeah, you have to take in a lot of stuff.
Let me say this: my wife is a good barometer for that, because my wife, and I hate it when she says this, but she'll say to me, she'll be like, "All right, am I smart enough to watch this next episode?" I'm like, "No, it's not about smart." It's like, well, you know what I mean. Like, do I need to go back and read all the comics, and do I need to go back and watch every episode to have any idea what's going on? And it shouldn't be like that for the most part. Now, yeah, there's some movies that have continuity that, you might want to see the first one before you see the sequel. But in terms of just, if I go to see Thunderbolts, I shouldn't have to watch the entire, Disney series, whatever. Yeah, just to be able to know what's going on with the Red Guardian.
Yeah, now what do you say? What do you say to this? Because we have someone in our chat room, good friend of the show, EJ. He says it's better than the desert of my youth of nerd content. So he's saying, well, at least it's better now than it was back when I was a kid, and your sci-fi, your comics were very few and far between. See, I kind of tend to disagree only because the experiences I had with comics, with TV shows, with movies, because there were less of them, I didn't have a disposable kind of a throwaway. They meant more to me. I still remember reading and getting the newest copy of ElfQuest comic book. Like the comic book ElfQuest. That was one of the only ones I followed. Or I think there was another one called Shatterstar that I really liked. But I remember going and
so your favorite character was an elf. Okay.
Yeah. He grew up to be one.
I did. Still growing.
Get him, Vince.
But it meant more to me. I still remember. Yeah. Now I feel like I don't get as much of a connection because there's just so much stuff. I don't know what that even means.
You're speaking my language, and I know we'll probably wrap up soon, but check it. It is at the point, I don't know how old EJ, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you'll pull up to the page every now and then and drop a comment. But I don't know how old you are, bro. You sound old. You know what I'm saying? Because
he's fat and old.
Yeah. And he knows nothing about
he's big and fat and old.
Nerd stuff.
And he has a bowl haircut. Do you know I can't speak. You remember the movie No Country for Old Men?
Of course.
He looks like that guy. He looks like that. He's got that weird Peter Pan doofus haircut. You know what I mean?
He ate his own bolt shooter.
All right. Well, I was going to say, if you're an 80s baby, then I definitely get it. 90s baby, maybe not as much. I think the 90s and the early 2000s were like the golden era of superhero. Now, granted, I know we got Superman in the 70s. We got Batman with Michael Keaton in the 80s. But in the 90s, we got Blade. We got Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? We got X-Men. We finally started to see some of the characters that we loved as children portrayed, not just on the big screen as doofuses, but as actual credible characters that we could believe really did have superpowers. Hugh Jackman killed it, Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, all these characters, they brought these characters to life. What's happened now is so many of them, and I know I'm not saying there's fatigue, but there's so many of them that when movies come out, I always used to make it a habit to be there on opening night, man. But nowadays, it's like, I'll see it in the matinee next week.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not the same. Yeah.
I'm still going to go see Avatar.
Tom's very anti-Avatar.
Okay, before the end of the year, is there anything you're excited about that's coming out?
I'm very excited about the Predator movie, The Badlands.
Okay.
I'm like, I think that movie is going to, because Predator and Alien have been both reimagining their franchises so well underneath. I mean, I don't know if y'all saw the Predator Prey movie. Like, it was so good, where it's based in like before America was invented with the Native Americans. Like, the Predator came down to fight the Native Americans, and they competed with them. It was like so good. So now you got an actual Predator movie that's based on a predator instead of being based on a human. Like, the Predator will actually be the main character. And so I'm really looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to Tron. Now, Tron, for some reason, is Like, people don't like Tron. You know, and I don't get it. Like, Tron,
it's
what did
dull.
it do to you?
It's dull, and the only thing that people like about Tron, or at least me, I'll speak for myself. The only thing I like about Tron is that I could possibly ride a motorcycle that the exhaust would be a beam of light that would crush my enemies. That's the only thing that I like about Tron.
Yeah, oh, you pulling me over? No, not today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, eat this light beam. Eat this light beam, Popo. Bam!
Well,
he just chopped Officer 54 in half. Like, who doesn't want that? And to ride? Like, yo, it's futuristic, man. I don't know. I even am one of the few people that liked Tron Legacy. I thought Tron Legacy was fine. I didn't think that, you know, Jeff Bridges, I thought they did a good job.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to Tron.
A lot of people in the chat room saying Tron makes them feel weird. I agree, and I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
it's the lighting.
I don't get it.
It's the lighting in Tron.
Well, we got to go, Vince. New Blurred Order podcast. You follow Vince Taylor on all social media.
Subscribe, give them some love. They have exclusive interviews that you can only find there. And go support local hard work and blurs, man.
Yep.
Yeah, man. And maybe one of these days we'll see you on a remote control couch.
There you go. There you go. Hey, man, always a pleasure talking to you. Take care of yourself, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Thanks, guys. Go Tom and Dan.
See you, man.
I'll take care.
Later,
See you,
buddy.
Vince.
That is Vince Taylor.
All right, we will be right back with more Corporate Time.